front begin to drift south and eastward. The central and eastern parts of Kansas will very probably be cloudy in the morning, and then western Kansas will begin to get increasing cloudiness by tomorrow afternoon. Today, however, very, very pleasant reading. 73 up in the Goodland area, 72 at Garden City, 70 reported by Dodge City and Liberal, 72 over by the good folks of York. Ponca City, Blackwell area, 68 degrees today. Winds southerly at about 15 with gusts of 25 miles an hour. Barometric pressure 30.00 and is rising. And no precipitation. We're about a half inch behind, correction, half inch ahead for the year, and 1 53/100ths behind for the year so far. We'll be looking for a little bit of a change tomorrow, and of course the possibility of some scattered showers. Today, of course, there's nothing showing up on the radar. However, the satellite photo was pretty interesting for the western half of the U.S. Rain showers and thunder showers along that frontal system. And that wide band of fairly heavy snow. There's no overlapping. Each time that you see the frontal system on there, that begins at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then you'll see the cloud pattern move until 2 o'clock this afternoon. So as of that time, of course, the front was way off in the northwest. Now, however, it's moving into the central part of the nation with a couple of high-pressure cells behind it. Behind it, and a few pockets of low pressure, and a fairly heavy band of rain showers and snow all the way from the eastern portions of Montana down to western sections of Nevada. And of course the massive high picking up warm moist air from the south, bringing it northward. So when the two masses collide over Kansas, we are looking for some precipitation, and we'll talk about that.
Get ready for the CBS Kmart Get Ready giveaway and get ready for Uncle Buck. Kevin Meaney's the bachelor father of the 90s, and he's got his hands full with 2 precocious kids, a rambunctious teenager, and 1 angry grandmother. He may be crude and crass, but he's family. Get ready for Uncle Buck, Mondays on CBS. Your place to watch, match, and win with the CBS Kmart Get Ready giveaway. Look for details here at Kmart.
Don't be fooled into thinking that a drink will make your problems go away. Hey, it won't. Alcohol only adds another problem. Be smart. Don't start.
One day you'll figure this out. And when you do, you will change the world.
Shoppers, Kmart offers an easy layaway plan for your shopping convenience. It's available in every department of the store. Simply make a small deposit on your purchase and we'll hold it for payment later. Take advantage of our sales prices today. Put your purchases in.
This is an explicit podcast containing filthy language, inappropriate comments, and even some bad jokes. If you are easily offended or have a stick up your ass, this is probably not for you. Guidance is suggested for sensitive types, and occasionally some lights may flash, so if you're prone to seizures and all that, you might want to skip this. And of course, we don't speak for anyone or any entity. We only speak for ourselves. And sometimes Fred. What follows is our opinion based on individual experiences in the industry. So just take that and know I do what I want.
Welcome to the show formerly known as Out for Delivery. I'm your host, formerly known as Out for Delivery, Jason. Mayor Bruce is over there mayoring. Howdy. Jazz is here coffeeing. Amy's here peddling. Couldn't hear Amy.
Hey.
Thank you. Much better. Anyway, let's get right into it. We canceled last week because I couldn't see, couldn't breathe, and went back to bed. Said, fuck it. I don't care.
Who would have known you were allergic to the world?
So, yeah, I am allergic
I
to
know.
the air and life in general. My kid is on a mission to get every pet that will kill me. This time it's a guinea pig. Is really fucking me up. I've had pretty much like a non-stop asthma attack for 2 weeks now. Since last Sunday. Since the Sunday I put that virtual pinball machine together.
Yeah.
Had trouble breathing ever since.
So this is because of
The guinea
your
pig.
interaction with the guinea pig.
Yeah, the guinea pig.
There's no interaction.
So why don't you just stop interacting with it?
Well, it's because the guinea pig lives in his room,
Okay.
which is by the room I've turned into the arcade, and guinea pig air filters out into that room.
Well, it sounds like the guinea pig should be living in the basement.
Well, the guinea pig moved by the front door.
No,
so-
that's a worse place for it.
I think maybe it is.
Now you're going to
Not
pass
sure.
it several times a day.
Not sure.
He's in a room by himself.
The guinea pig?
Yeah.
Yes, but the guinea pig air seeps out of that room.
I don't think you're supposed to eat guinea pigs.
Are you concerned that it's
No,
not going to
no,
be too
no,
much
they
longer
do.
before Calvin's going to be wanting a snake?
Where they
I would-
are original
snakes-
from. They eat
Snakes
them.
seem allergen free.
Yeah, but with the way that his pets have been going, like this is probably going to be a poisonous snake or
Yeah, as long as it's not
bite one of
poisonous,
your toes off while you're asleep.
I
or
would much
something.
prefer snake because it seems allergen free. It seems like they don't put out a lot of dander.
Okay, if we're
I'd
going to
be allergic to.
reptiles, can we do a little like a gecko? I think a gecko would be better than a snake.
I
I
Just
don't
to
even
get-
like that
between
insurance
a
company.
We had
gecko and
a
snake.
we had a Avery had a bearded dragon. It was
Plus-
very friendly.
Plus, the
I
snake would
remember.
eat the guinea pig.
Yeah.
It's win-win.
Yeah, I'm worried the dog's gonna get a hold of the guinea pigs. What I'm really terrified of because that he's a terrier.
I mean, he's in a cage, though, isn't he?
The dog? No, the dog's got free roam of
The guinea
3 or
pig.
4 rooms. He is.
As I understand it, a cage could
It's a
not
pretty
contain
smart
that
dog, though.
Look, that dog
Does he have thumbs?
knew that we were playing D&D, came and couldn't fit through the gate, so he like rammed it until it fell off
Yeah.
the wall and he could get into the room.
Did he
I
really?
think he can ram a guinea pig cage to fall off somewhere and get the guinea pig
So
out.
the dog's super intelligent. He's just
dumb.
no, he's not dumb.
He doesn't have street
a dog.
smarts.
He just doesn't give a shit about what
Because he's
people.
never been on the street.
He's a honey badger.
Well, he doesn't give a shit about what people want or expect out of him.
Mm.
He's smart. He's just not going to use it to help you.
Oh, by the way, that smart dog threw up a bunch of whipped cream this morning.
Oh,
Normally,
shucks.
family dogs, like the dog, at some point understands it's the lowest member of the family.
He
not
does
this
not.
dog. He's just
No.
equal to everybody else. In
He's
the
above
house.
everyone.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's no equal
even
with
better.
So
His food.
the other day I told him, I was like, go get Avery. Or
Or
Avery,
Calvin.
shit, Calvin. I said, go get Calvin. He just looks at me like he doesn't understand what I'm saying. And so eventually
You're
after
like, you know who Calvin is. Go get Calvin.
well, like after a minute or two of talking, I'm like, go get Calvin and he'll get you cheese. And then all of a sudden from the other room I just hear Calvin go, Jesus, Pippin, what? He's like biting him and trying to drag him.
Mind you,
Calvin?
every time he said, go get Calvin, the dog would just yell at him. Would yell at Jason, like, I'm not doing that.
Right.
Start barking at him.
The dog's like, give me a reason to go get him.
As soon as I did, he went and got
He's
him.
like,
Yep.
that's a deal.
So we now know he knows who Calvin is and what cheese is.
Well, and then he went, but that's more complicated than that. He went and got the person who was going to get him the cheese.
Our
He was
dog.
very upset that Calvin did not get him cheese because Calvin had no idea what was going on. He just knew the dog came and attacked him while he was playing a video game.
Because Pippin hasn't learned
If
to
the
say
dog
cheese.
could communicate that he wanted cheese, Calvin would know.
Well, he would only say cheese if we taught him.
So Friday, he did the smartest thing I've ever seen him do, though.
Okay.
And if this dog masters this task,
I still don't believe
I
it.
don't care what you believe it or not. I
Should have
fucking
taken a
saw
picture, I guess.
it. The dog tried shitting in the toilet Friday. He missed, so it landed on the toilet seat, which is bad. However,
What do you mean he tried? Like
I
he jumped
don't
up
know.
on the toilet, or like
he jumped on the toilet.
Calvin held him over
No.
the toilet and was
No.
like, "You poop here."
He did it on his own. Nobody was in the room. Nobody saw it.
He can
Calvin
get
was
up on
actually
the,
at school, wasn't
he
he?
can get
Yeah.
up onto the edge
I'm
of the
telling
bath.
you, Calvin did that shit.
He's like, it's not a Calvin turd. I can promise you that.
No. Calvin held the dog over the toilet
Oh.
to assist him in pooping. Why would a dog jump up on the toilet to poop?
He doesn't get on the toilet. He gets on the tub. Cause
Yeah, he gets on the edge of the tub, which is right next to the toilet.
Oh.
And he gets
If
on the
poops in
toilet because
tub,
he
that's
wants on the counter
better than
where
pooping in
everything
the
else has
house.
been moved to.
So, like, I don't...
So he was probably just trying to get something on the counter and got super excited and shat everywhere.
Well, sometimes he shits when he's mad at somebody. Like,
too.
he's vindictive. He'll be like, all right, I'm just going to shit here in the floor then. Fuck you.
He knows that he's done something
And
bad.
he'll look you in the eye while he's doing it, and he's like, oh, I should have done that. That
Evil
was a
fucking
nuclear.
dog.
Oh God, he did that back in the summer. Remember
Yeah.
when we left him in the house?
Yeah, and then he's like, I really shouldn't have done this. And then he goes and hides. So you know he did it.
And he knows he did it, and he knows he shouldn't have.
And he kind of acted like that when I saw the dog shit on the toilet seat. But I wasn't even mad. Like, I was just impressed. I was like, was you trying to do that on purpose?
Good dog.
So I don't even...
Scoot your butt over like an inch
Like,
and a half.
I don't know if he was actually trying to poop in the toilet or he was just trying to poop because he was mad about something somewhere.
I mean, he sees us use the toilet.
Well,
Maybe
he doesn't
was-
see me. I don't go to the bathroom with the dog, weirdo.
Whatever. He wants in there sometimes.
He's
So
gotta poop.
I don't know. I'll let you guys know because if I'm serious, if
Yeah,
the dog
definitely keep me updated on that one.
if he
'cause
starts using the toilet and flushing it, like I'll take back every
you'll
bad thing. I ever
forgive
said.
most of the other things
Yeah.
you've said about him.
You chewed up my socks. It's okay, buddy. You use the toilet.
I mean, it was quite impressive.
Our dog has recently found out that he can manipulate things with his nose. He's like 4.5, and
Yeah.
he's just recently started this thing where, like, he understands he's not supposed to bite stuff, and he has no way of other way of interacting. He recently found out he can just poke things with his nose because he's a big dog.
Yeah.
And we would have like a gate up or something, and he'll go up and poke it a couple times, and it'll fall over, and then he can go wherever
Yeah.
he wants.
This dog climbs too. Like if we put up
Oh,
like
God.
one of the normal kid gates that has like the
The
chain link
crisscross?
fence style,
Mm.
He
he
climbs.
can
it.
climb that like a goat and then
And
just
then
go over
hops
top.
over.
Our dog can open doors in the house
Oh, that's impressive.
because they have like levers, and he just walks up and
Oh.
hits them with his nose. But he
I'm
doesn't
waiting for
really
Pippin to do
understand
that.
like what
Pippin's
he
not
should
tall
and
enough.
shouldn't poke. We have a little heater in our bedroom
Oh,
that was
no.
in his way the other day, and he wanted to get that out of the way, so he like poked it a couple times, and I think he learned you can't poke everything with your nose.
Well, at least hopefully it's one of the newer ones that shuts off when it goes sideways and doesn't, set the house on fire.
It does if it falls over, yeah.
All right, good.
But it still might, sting his nose a little bit.
That's how he's
he
gonna
needs
learn.
to learn he can't just walk around poking shit with your nose.
Look, every time I open that goddamn oven when I'm cooking, Pippin wants to get into the
I
oven.
know he does.
He's
Well,
gonna
let
learn
him
one
one
day,
time, and then he won't ever
because
again.
he'll get half a paw on the oven door, and it'll be too hot for him, and he'll learn and never do it
But
again.
then we'll have to take him to the vet because he burnt his paw.
Okay, but if you don't let him do it, you're gonna have to keep fighting him for the rest of his life.
But then
While
we're
he
gonna
tries
have
to
a
get in the
vet
oven.
bill.
Do you want part of a paw to accidentally get burnt because he put his paw up there? Do you want him to jump into the oven full
No, I don't
flame?
want him to jump in the oven.
Because that's what he tries to do to me, is jump into the oven.
First of all, we have an electric oven. There's no flame.
Yeah.
There's a flame in the oven.
No,
There's
he
a
would be
problem.
the flame.
You need to figure something out.
The flame is him because he has fur that has now
Spontaneously
touched an
combust.
element and combusted into a flammable Pippin.
Y'all run your oven at like 800 degrees?
I don't.
Jesus.
I don't know. So, anyway, so like last show, I got that virtual pinball machine.
Yeah.
Finally. You know, his Christmas
It's
gift.
awesome. It's cool.
Came in March.
It wasn't good enough.
No, it's good enough.
He's
It's
like,
great.
I got improvements that need to be made.
It's great.
I
Like
can do
I'm
better.
very happy with it. The
I'll
only
take
thing
it
I'm
apart
disappointed
first.
with is it runs at 720.
Oh, that sucks.
It does, but like whenever I got to reading, like it's a 1080 monitor that runs at 720. When I got to reading why they did that, it makes sense to me. They did that so they could lock it at 60 frames a second, and the frame rate would never drop. which is more important when you're playing pinball than 1080, because once you get in it playing, like, you're not paying attention to the little graphics that aren't as great because you're following the ball. But then I got to thinking, this can't be hard. It's a fucking box with some solenoids and some programming.
It's mostly software.
Yeah, so I figured out how to do it, and I built my own.
Nice.
Using 2 monitors, an old computer, and a box from Michael's with buttons.
Then it looks really good.
It does not look really good. Let's be clear.
It will look really good.
The little
It
holes
looks like
that
it could
you
look really
made in the
good.
box are very professional looking. The holes that you drilled.
Well, there's a story about that.
You drill professional holes.
I went and bought the box, bought a thing of paddle bits, had a plunger with me, like the button with me, so I could measure the paddle bit and say, yep, this will work. Got here. Did not work. It's too small.
Yeah.
So I had to go back out to the store and buy the next size up bit.
That sucks.
Which didn't work. But I was smart that time, and I bought 2 bits.
The next 2 sizes up, just to be on the safe side.
And I'm glad I did, because the second one is the one that worked. The buttons are a little clicky. The box is a little too short. Got to extend the box out. But right now, it's just a TV on a table that looks like a
rough
pinball
draft.
machine. So Tuesday, I come home, and I started working on it. No, it was Monday. I came home and started working on this, on how to get visual pinball working. And I was doing it on my normal PC, so I could figure out all the settings and everything, so it would be a breeze to set up once I got everything situated like it was situated. I started at noon-ish, maybe 12:30, because we had a really easy Monday this week for some reason. I don't know why.
I don't even remember it.
Must have been pretty easy.
Must have been easy.
And I've got this disease. I don't know what's wrong with me, but when I start working on something and I'm making accomplishments where I don't get frustrated enough to give up and quit,
and
it's
continue working,
but I'm like constantly on the edge of frustration.
Yeah.
Like I'm on the edge of, you know what, fuck this, I quit.
You're looking for a reason to quit.
But then all of a sudden, like, I make a breakthrough or I figure it out, and this little thing that I've been working on, it's working.
You shout Eureka at the top of your lungs.
I clap normally for myself.
You hit the button so the alarms and buzzers go off.
Just
so
clap.
Confetti falls from. Okay.
And then
I'm waiting for him to set up Alexa to do something special, like have flashing strobe lights behind him as he claps for himself.
But
or
then
Alexa applaud him.
But then that really excites me. It delivers the perfect amount of dopamine in which I continue working. I stopped working on it at 3:30 a.m. on Tuesday morning. Like, that's a disease. Like, I had to go to work the next day. Like.
So you had to be at work in like 3 hours.
Yeah. I got an hour of sleep that night. Yeah.
Yeah, this whole time.
But I bet you still felt fine at work the next day because you were, you had all that shit in your brain that
No.
you did. And you were like,
No.
Yes, I'm going to go home and sleep for a day, and then I'm going to get back at it.
It was
He didn't
misery.
sleep for a day. He probably slept for like 4 hours because he had to keep working.
Well, that's a day for him.
Like, I went and bought the TV because now I had it all figured out where I could, do the full setup and put the TV on the table with the other monitor. I go buy the TV and start working on it. I'm fucking exhausted. Like, I've had, like, no sleep the past 2 days. And I had a controller, like a Xbox controller, plugged into the computer that I was trying to set up this virtual pinball machine on. I'm trying to, like, get it running and everything. But the whole machine, it's like it's tilted like 20 degrees. So you can't even launch a ball
Like
because
from side to side or from front
sideways.
to back? Okay.
Like the TV's straight, but the
TV
pinball
the
machine
TV's
is
straight.
acting like the.
But the program that runs this, because this program also will take like accelerometers into effect and levelers.
Okay.
So it knows like
Yeah.
when you nudge it or shake it.
So
or
it's just permanently stuck at tilted.
It was, and like I couldn't figure out why, and like.
Did you try lifting one side of the TV?
I shook the TV, and that's when I knew I needed to quit.
He did shake the TV.
I shook the TV to get the ball to move out of the
Hey.
launch.
I've been reading a real book lately.
It doesn't have any of that hardware inside.
Yeah, I know.
Jason.
I was
That's
standing behind him and just started giggling, and that's when he said, "I know, Jazz. I know.
It's not a real pinball machine. I
I'm
get it.
tired."
Jason, I've been reading a actual book recently, and I keep trying to click on words to get
Oh,
like a
God.
definition to pop up, or
Oh,
to
God.
swipe the page, and I'm like, this isn't working.
so.
The page is turning.
Yeah, so like when I tried shaking the page, like I'm like, all right, I give up. And then Jazz is like, somebody said they had a controller plugged in, it did that, and I was like, all right. So I walked back from the bed and unplugged the controller, started it up, and it worked fine. I was like, all right, that makes no sense why that is.
So,
Weird.
last night when you were having problems, and I told you, hey, did you
Hang on.
I bet the controller has a tilty thing in it.
No, but it starts using that analog as an accelerometer by default for some reason, one of the analog sticks.
Huh.
And no controller has perfect analog sticks.
Right.
So it says whether it's tilted 2 degrees this way or 4 degrees this way extra. So that's
you just
that's
turn
what
that
it is.
off
Just
or
unplug it. And it works.
Online said that your thing looks really good.
It doesn't look really good.
But it does for what it is.
Yeah.
For something I made this week, it does.
It does for a fucking amateur.
And it functions really well. Like, it feels like you're playing real pinball, which is the important part, except
like
for
it.
the solenoids.
Is
Which
it going to have the vibration like the
shaker?
Like the other one does? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm working on next. Like, that's my
Okay.
next project.
I was
And then I
excited when
found out
Jason told me he was going to transfer his scores because that means my top score on Medieval Madness is going to be on it.
I found out that the solenoids most people use for the virtual pinball cabinets is the top solenoid off of a Ford Starter from the 90s.
Random?
Which you can pick up for like $13 at any any AutoZone.
Nice.
Or a Rallies or any other auto parts place you want, because those Ford
You
solenoids
could
went
pick it
out
up
like
for
crazy.
50 cents in any junkyard in the country.
Yeah, but I don't want to be all oily. Is the only reason I wouldn't do that, or I would, because I'm gonna be putting them inside the cabinet, So $13 for those solenoids. I just need to pick up 8 of those, a controller, some wires, and a voltage booster, and then I'm gonna shock the piss out of myself, I'm sure, with this. But either way, I'm gonna get it working. Then I'm gonna put it in a cabinet, and then I'm gonna start mass producing these and selling them. Is my backup plan.
I feel like you're going to need resistors in that line somewhere.
It's built into the booster.
Anyway, let's just start with
Okay.
a personal one.
Well, that's the plan.
Okay.
With a what?
A personal, one.
So, like, you take
The
pinball
pinball
machine.
machine before he
He's
starts
talking about
mass producing
selling
them.
well, the way it works though
Yeah,
is,
I mean,
you take.
I mean, there's some things to work out.
Of course,
before
that's what I'm doing.
Someone would pay you
Like,
for
I
that.
can now set up visual pinball on anybody's like setup now. Like, I know, I've got it down to where I know what the fuck I'm doing. If the table ain't oriented right, like, I know how to adjust the degrees of axis to get it exactly right on the screen. And then when you save it, the cool part about visual pinball is when you save a table, it saves everything. The uncool part about visual pinball is when you save a table, it saves everything, even if you fuck something up and don't know what it was. So whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, that just sounds like something you'd have to work everything out, and then.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, I
stay
know
that way.
like all of the settings now. Like, it took me a good 6 hours to figure out how to get back glass to display.
Could you?
Like, I was having trouble with that.
Could you? I mean, like, I understand you couldn't write code, but could somebody write a program that would set all that to whatever default values should be, or is it something that has to be adjusted individually with every table?
The problem is everybody makes these tables.
Like, if you use the same monitor and the same
no.
layout for everything, could you
No.
just input some kind of
To a degree. But the issue is, like, you can set up like 80% of the settings. Like, by default, every table you load on this machine is this.
Okay.
The problem is everybody makes these tables. Like, there's not one guy making these tables. Like, everybody's making them.
Like, technically, I could go in and make one, and it wouldn't really probably work, 'cause I don't know what I'm doing, but people could load it up.
But everyone's
So
making
this is
them.
just some kind of specific file type.
It's like a set of files for each table.
Okay.
It's like very heavy, like relying on like AutoCAD.
Okay.
And then scripts and a bunch of other stuff that I don't understand. But the problem is when you make a table, you make it for your machine. And so you're going to make it general enough to where everybody can use it. But some of the things I may need to go in and tweak this, and this for my setup, if that makes much sense.
Yeah, but if you mass produced it, it'd be the same machine for each one.
The same machine would be the same thing, but the visual pinball tables you're going to have to supply, because otherwise I'm a criminal.
Right.
If I'm selling you a machine with visual pinball tables on it. So the guy I called who makes these on Etsy, because I was thinking about buying one of his for $2,000.
This is
and
where
just
it
saying fuck
started.
it. Says, well, I don't sell tables. I put 800 of my tables on there for testing purposes, and I just don't take them off.
Because legally he can't sell
the
other
tables.
people's tables.
So he sells them with the software on them?
Yeah. Well, that's like, so I have 2 projects that I'm getting ready to start working on.
I guess legally you could do that and then just have a piece of paper in the box that says delete all the software on this machine when you get
That's
it.
what he does. He says these are on here for testing
That's
purposes
fucking
only,
bullshit.
and then yes, of course it's bullshit. But that's what he does. So I'm working on like a front end, like to where you can start a program and select which table you want to play, and it automatically loads.
Yeah.
I've got one. I just haven't figured out how it works yet, and that's not bothering me that much because it's just for me.
Yeah.
Because like I just put shortcuts on the desktop to each table, and then when I hit that, it loads it all up and just starts. But you know, eventually I'm gonna want it to where when the computer boots, it boots this program, and then I use the flippers to select which table I want to play and hit enter to start it. You know,
Well, sounds like we need a software engineer.
that software exists. It's just really complicated to set up and use.
Yeah, but you're gonna want it specific for your table and your hardware and
Yeah.
your stuff.
Too bad we don't know.
And my cousin has wrote almost the exact same program that we're talking about for the Raspberry Pi.
Yeah. Too bad that we don't know one of those, like your cousin.
Oh, I mean, like he's gonna want money. He's a very busy man right now.
It's according to how much money. Maybe I can give him a cut of every machine I sell.
That would probably be the best way to do it. Would just be a percentage.
Yeah, and he could do it on spec.
Yeah, I mean, why don't you just write out exactly what you want it to do?
That's far down the line.
Okay.
But I mean, yeah, I mean,
Well,
of course
he
I'd go
would
to
want
him.
to start. I mean, it's going to take him, a few months to write it. So
It's going to take me a few months to figure out exactly how to do this shit.
All right.
Mostly because I don't know how to build a cabinet. Nick is going to help me with the cabinet. So once I do one and learn how to do it, learn what tools I need that I could purchase.
Tools.
Yeah. And figure out how to do all that.
Okay.
But the other thing I'm working on this week is the DOF controller for the solenoids. I'm going to figure out how to program that shit. Because most of these tables are pre-programmed, and then you got to get the controller and program the controller that output 1 is this solenoid, output 2 is this solenoid,
Right.
how to tie all that together. It also controls lights. So my plan now is to put LED lights along the back glass so that when the whole table flashes, lights are flashing behind it too. And instead of a knocker, I'm thinking about putting a strobe light on top of the back box.
Knocker would be cool as fuck.
A knocker would be cool, but they're like $60.
Worth it.
Yeah, maybe.
That's like half the fun of a pinball machine for me.
You're not wrong.
Plus, that's definitely a selling point. If somebody goes online looking for an electronic pinball machine,
Oh, if I
and they
start
see
mass-
one that has a knocker,
If I start mass producing them, I'll put a real knocker in them, of course.
You say mass producing, like we're gonna be flipping out hundreds of these a day.
No. These will be made to order. One a week would probably be my max speed.
That is not mass producing.
How
it
many
depends
equals a
very
mass?
much on how much of the heart
I
of
don't know, a
the
lot.
physical stuff he has to build, or how much he can
Also-
just order.
So one a week is your max. How many tables do you think Arcade 1-Up actually delivered?
I got a better one than that. Take
For
one
the
of the most popular
years.
machines ever, Medieval Madness. How many tables of those do you think Williams sold?
I don't know.
5,800 and something.
That's it.
That's all they sold at that table. That's all that exists in the world
Well,
is
they are kind of
5,000 and
You're
something.
talking about the physical table. Though.
Physical table.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like Williams, like most of their table sales were like under 5,000. So if you stop and think about that, like there's only, well, take what's that one I like, the Machine. There was only 4,000 of those made.
Produced.
Like there's only 4,000 in the world, and you got to figure half of those are probably destroyed by this point.
Yeah.
So like, if I'm making one a week, I'm almost keeping up with the big guys.
That's true.
Seriously. Anyway, it's just my backup plan, for when Rome finally collapses, and
I mean, buddy, if you can make $1,000 on a table and you make one a week, that's really good fucking money.
that's kind of my thoughts on it. Because the dude that I talked to on the phone about having that one made, he's like, "Yeah, I'm about 6 weeks out right now."
You said, good for you.
And he said, "You don't get to choose your graphics other than the 6 I have. You don't get to put special graphics on it. I have 6 that I've already got printed. You tell me which one you want, and that's the one you get. And no haptic
Sounds like
feedback.
you should be able to beat this guy pretty soundly.
If you wanted haptic feedback, it was $4,000.
Holy shit.
If you wanted a 4K TV, it was $550.
Well, the TV's more expensive.
Not that much more expensive. Haptic feedback and a 4K TV, $5,500. Not that much difference.
For maybe $2,000 worth of stuff.
I don't even think it was that. Probably closer to $1,200-1,300.
Half that would be the TV.
You know he's not putting really great TV in it.
No.
He puts a 1080i in the 4K one because you got to have a 1080i, which isn't like a great graphics card, but it's better than the ones he puts in the others because you got to have that to push the 4K smoothly.
You just went out and bought a
I wouldn't
clearance
think
TV at
anything I would be
Walmart.
smoothly.
Maybe it's not a 1080i. It's a 1080 Ti, maybe? 1080. I don't know graphics cards that well. It's a 1080 something. I don't know. It's got a dual display, of course.
The P is progressive and the I is interlaced. Like the P is better. 720p is kind of the same as 1080i.
No. Talking about the graphics card.
Yeah.
A NVIDIA 1080i.
Oh, you're talking about the name of the graphics card.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't either. It's older. It's like because I have a 1080 in the old computer I'm running, but that graphics card's super old too. So it's not a great graphics card. Like it's better than what you're gonna get if you buy, a Dell off the shelf.
Yeah.
But it's not, an ultra gaming graphics card or anything
I would
like
guess you could get away with probably $80 a piece for the graphics card needed to run.
Graphics cards are really expensive right now.
That in 1080p.
I just had to look because the one in my computer crapped out.
Big ones are. You can buy a low model one for well under 100.
I haven't really found those, especially not with dual display, because I was looking to replace mine.
You want DVI or HDMI?
HDMI.
All right, I'll find one.
Avery gave me an extra one. He had just replaced his. He gave me his old one.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not to the point of building the actual machines yet because I'm still using my old computer. Zen Pinball runs on it like fucking crazy smooth.
Yeah.
Like Zen Pinball is not an issue whatsoever. The issue is the visual tables because there's so much more scripting and shit that goes into those that's not... Like Zen, they have actual programmers working for them. They know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly how to squeeze all the shit down to where it works flawlessly. Whereas on a visual pinball table, there's, like a lot of bloat and stuff like that where people just aren't as efficient at it.
Yeah.
There's not 100 programmers working on each table to get it exactly right.
Right.
So Zen tables are not a fucking problem at all. The problem is I've bought Zen tables on the console for years. I probably have $400 in Zen pinball tables on the console.
On multiple consoles.
Yeah, a couple consoles.
Surprised it's not more than that.
Never really bought any on the fucking PC because I didn't really like playing on the PC because it was a much smaller screen.
Right.
$400.
At least, probably.
Now we have to have the pinball tables on Steam on the PC because of the virtual pinball table.
Yeah, so I'm having to rebuy all of the tables a little bit at a time. But the good news is on Steam they have a weekly sale. One of the packs will go on sale for half price. It's normally 3 table packs are $10, but once a week they put one on sale, sometimes 2 on sale for $5.
It's like Puzzle Quest.
Yeah,
You're gonna
so
buy it for everything.
You spent like $400 on these games,
On
and now
pinball
you're
tables.
having to pay another $400 on games.
I'm gonna get them on sale, so hopefully like 2 something.
I mean, it's been over
That's just the
years.
Zen ones.
It's been over years, and I've to be fair, like I've got my money's worth. Like if I pay $10 for a pack of 3 tables, like I put like 10 hours on each one of those tables.
Okay.
I feel like it's almost equivalent to a beef jerky habit for a year, maybe.
Not even
No,
because
probably less.
Yeah, a bag of beef jerky a week. I was buying a table pack every 3 or 4 weeks. And you're buying $16 bags.
Do you remember when you smoked? Because what the fuck? How much
Yeah,
did you
think
spend
about
on
that.
cigarettes?
Nicotine gum. Let's talk about nicotine gum.
I
and-
have stopped chewing the nicotine gum.
Recently?
I went cold turkey. No
You did
more
not go
nicotine.
cold turkey, bitch. Cold turkey is not.
The step down process.
She's saying she went off nicotine cold turkey because she quit smoking like 5 years ago. And then she went from that to the gum, chewed the gum for like 5 years, and then went on the patch for a week, and she's saying she went cold turkey. Like, bitch, you're on a 45-step program.
Well, I couldn't use the patches because they were like irritating my skin and it wouldn't go away, and I had to stop using them. So I only used like a few of them.
But you went off cigarettes to the gum, then from the gum to the patch. That's not cold turkey.
It's cold turkey from the gum because the patches I couldn't use. So I just stopped using everything. And now I chew Orbit pellets.
Can somebody explain to her what fucking cold turkey means?
I don't think so, because I don't know how to say it any other way other than what you said.
Like,
It means you just stop.
One day I
Like
just
way
stopped.
way back when you stopped whatever you were doing and started something else. Do that, but without starting the other thing.
I did. Now I'm chewing.
No, now you
Nope.
just started a new third thing.
But it's Orbit pellets. They call them pellets for some reason. I don't know.
That doesn't sound
It's
appealing.
kinda like
it
a
sounds
fucking-
like gerbil food or something.
It's kind of like a heroin addict that goes on methadone for 10 years. And then they're like, yeah, I just quit methadone cold turkey. I'm pretty proud of myself. It's like, bitch, you were on heroin, and then you went on methadone, and then you stepped down.
I mean, I'm proud of her for not being on heroin anymore,
I guess.
I never was on heroin.
Well,
It was nicotine.
which is pretty close addiction-wise. Well, I
It's
guess maybe
legal
not
heroin.
but
I guess. It's whatever.
Hmm.
Anyway, so here's my other problem I found out this week is craft stores suck. Because I go in a craft store.
she could have told you that.
She kind of did. I still wanted to
I
try.
feel like I've heard her say that before, actually.
So we get there. It's first thing in the morning. There's like 10 employees standing around. It's like, all right, I've got a project. I need help with it.
So you go to a craft store for pinball stuff?
I needed a box, to be able to put the buttons in.
Okay.
A wooden box to drill
All right.
holes into.
Like I probably would have gone to Lowe's.
And build
What
a
I really
box.
thought would be cool would be a plexiglass box that I put, like, so you could see all the wires coming off the buttons and everything. And I was going to put some, like, single LEDs in there that powered up off that controller so that you could see, like, a plexiglass box with all the wires and shit. But there was also, like, some different colored, like, LEDs just floating in all this mess of wires, too. I thought that would look kind of cool for now. Like, it's not going to be a permanent thing. It's just to get it working for now.
Yeah.
And, like, I tell them, they're like, well, we ain't got nothing like that. I can't help you with that.
Sir, we don't have an LED in the store.
I'm fine with that.
Some in a
I have-
box.
I have my LEDs. I just need a plastic box that is like,
Oh,
man. What?
I have a plastic box at work like this. They're $20 a piece, but they're football cases.
I was just thinking they probably did actually have the acrylic display
For
the sports
football.
Oh,
displays.
the display boxes are too much. They're like not shallow. Like they're not short enough.
Some of them are, because
And
some of them
they're
are made for like baseball bats.
not long
or,
enough.
Honestly,
baseball cards too.
I would check out a glass shop. I don't know if there's any down here, but there's two I'm thinking of in the big city, and they both sell stuff made out of, like, they both sell as much
Acrylic?
plexiglass as regular glass.
So like what I got to thinking about is when I was in high school and I took wood shop. For some reason, we had a plastic section in wood shop.
Yeah.
And we made like picture frames where you took a sheet of plexiglass and you put them on a plexiglass bender, and then you bent the plexiglass
Yeah.
to make the picture frame.
Yeah.
I just wanted a bender and some plexiglass, and I could cut the plexiglass, use the bender, and do it. They don't even have those. Like, why wouldn't a craft shop
But you
have?
didn't go to a wood shop. You went to a craft shop.
But it's plastic.
Go to a wood shop.
What wood shop?
Lowe's.
You think they would have plexiglass bender?
I don't know. No, probably not.
Yeah, that's what I
Matter of fact, I'm almost positive they wouldn't. Because we sold glass in the department I worked at Home Depot, and we didn't have anything like that.
Mm.
We sold sheets of plexiglass and, like, the little cutter you can use to cut it yourself, but that's it.
Yeah, I need a bender. I'm thinking about getting on Amazon and looking and seeing how much they are.
We have not got our money yet.
I would
so
at
stop.
least call a glass shop and just ask them if they have anything like what you're looking for. And that'd take you 30 seconds.
Anyway, so I'm very proud of myself.
Yeah,
for
no,
this
it looked
accomplishment.
really
Like,
good. For having not existed when I was here 2 weeks ago.
And the cool part about it
Pretty
is,
fucking good.
is like doing this. Like I can build main machines like left and right, like super fucking easy. Like,
Oh, you mean
no
the stand-up
problem.
ones?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, man. The money's going to be, and you got to build one where they combine, and then the screen turns.
I'm not regular main machines
Do
like my
everything.
Arcade Legends. Like I could do that no problem. Like that's super fucking easy now that I've figured out how these controllers and shit work.
Yeah.
Like it's way too fucking easy. Like I think they try to make it
Well,
seem
that's
hard
why
on purpose.
Everybody's selling tiny ones nowadays.
Well, I'm talking about like the whole stand-up machine. Like all I need is an LED fucking monitor, some lights, and a controller, and a Raspberry fucking Pi.
I mean, we kind of knew that before, though.
I mean, we did, but we didn't know exactly how to do it.
That's true.
Now I know exactly how to do it, and it's way easier than what it seems.
Yeah,
Now
Jason's
you
like,
have the
no, I got the
knowledge.
ins and outs of this.
Virtual pinball machine, way harder than a virtual arcade machine. Way harder.
Yeah, I feel like there would be a lot more money to be made in the pinball aspect, though, just because there's so many people trying to sell
Well, you can get those like
small arcade
like
machines.
the arcade machine. Like I have the full size arcade machine I have that's like a MAME in a box kind of deal.
Yeah,
You can get those all day long for $800.
yeah, it'd be
you
hard
know.
to make money there.
Well, where you could make money is taking actual old arcade cabinets that have good graphics on them, but have shit insides, replacing the controller, sticking a Raspberry Pi in it, hooking it to the television that's in there, or replacing it with an LED.
Yeah, but you wouldn't get consistent quality. It would just be random cabinets. You'd have to sell them. You couldn't sell them on some kind of mass site. You just have to sell them one by one.
Yeah, custom orders.
How are you gonna ship these?
FedEx freight. Already looked into it.
It's gonna be high.
$250.
Same way he got his.
Yep, $250 for shipping on a virtual pinball machine. The guy that makes them on Etsy, that sells them on Etsy, the Pinball King, sells his with free shipping.
He just added into the cost.
This is the guy that sells that one table for $5,500.
Yeah, yeah. He's got like 4 different tables. His cheapest one's $2,000.
So you just throw the shipping costs in there and give them free shipping.
Free
And the
shipping.
Etsy fees.
Yeah, you gotta throw your Etsy fees in there too.
Well, yeah. Which Etsy fees are what, only 15% or something like that?
I don't know. I've never sold on Etsy. I've sold eBay.
It
Sell it
is
on Amazon.
broken up into 3 different sections where you have a 3% this
Amazon's
charge, a
not
certain
real good
fee
to their
for
vendors.
this, and then another fee down here. So I don't know percentage total what it adds up to.
Well, no, but they have a much bigger market.
They do, but everybody gets their money back no matter what on Amazon. Fuck you. No matter if you're a liar, you get your money back on Amazon if it's a third party.
Are you gonna tell about the visor?
No. They put another package. Amazon put another package on another car in this driveway this week.
Yes.
And
I
then
think they're just getting to the point now to where they're big enough that they're just going to start doing whatever they
also
want.
they never hit their like guaranteed delivery by date anymore.
I
don't
can
even think it's
remember when I
guaranteed.
used to get an Amazon thing like the next day, and anymore it's 3 days.
Or like it would say 2
2 to
days, but
3
it shows up a day
days.
early, and you're like, cool, it showed up a day early. No.
Yeah, no, that used to happen.
It's guaranteed a day later than whatever they tell you now.
I had another Amazon deliverer that I was kind of not following, but we were within sight of each other for like, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes yesterday.
Yeah.
And it's not like I counted, but in that amount of time, he delivered, I don't know, 6 or 7 packages.
Yeah.
And in that amount of time, I delivered 500 things.
Well, you delivered 6 or 7 packages plus mail.
Well, more. Honestly, I probably
Yeah.
delivered more packages than him, and half of them should have been his.
And you put them on the porch and on car
Yeah,
hooks.
right. I put them exactly where they should be.
Yeah.
And I know the customer appreciates it more than wherever Amazon throws
The
them.
problem is they don't know whether
I don't
Amazon or us are the one
understand
that
why
delivers it.
Amazon isn't shipping everything through us. There is no way
because we charge more money.
that they're saving money having
Sure they
to
are.
pay all these morons. No, because I'm talking about the money they're paying to fix their mistakes.
Yeah.
Because these people
They've
are
stopped fixing their
stupid.
mistakes.
The guy I'm talking about, the last time I saw him, it was because he was walking a parcel from one door to the next door because he delivered it to the wrong house.
Yeah, they've stopped fixing their mistakes. Like,
They just give you your money back.
but what I'm saying is like, if you complain about an Amazon driver, they don't do anything anymore. Like, all right, sorry about that.
Jason complained to an Amazon driver about another Amazon
I
driver.
guess that's what I'm saying is the Amazon drivers, like, they're fucking up Amazon's stuff.
Yeah. Amazon don't give a shit no more.
Just give it to us. It can't be much more money, and you get like professional delivery instead of these morons
Yeah,
who.
but they're paying that moron by the package,
Which is what they would be paying us.
but not a lot. Is the other thing.
If they pay us what the same thing they're paying that moron, A, we're already going to be getting more money to deliver their stuff than we already are.
Oh, it would be good for us.
And B, it's going to save them money.
I don't think
It's
they look at it that way.
win-win. I don't understand.
They
it.
think it's working. I think Amazon feels like their delivery system is working. It is not, however.
I mean, if they feel that way, it's just because they don't know how much. I mean, they have to know how much stuff's getting messed up. They probably just think that that's like the cost of doing business that way. I guess they don't understand how much better
Well, let's just look at
our
like
delivery is.
the wasted effort. There have been days here at this house recently where somebody ordered.
Where Amazon paid someone 8 man-hours to deliver and then redeliver and then fix all of the issues that
Worse than that,
they had with this
where
one
they
house.
paid 3 different drivers to bring 3 different packages.
Yeah.
To the same
How
house.
is that cost effective for them?
Like,
how little are they paying those $1 a delivery? Like,
when the one guy put the one thing on the car,
that package would cost, each of those packages would cost $5 to send through us.
Yeah.
Let's assume that they're
It's not that
suddenly
much,
going to
but
start
yeah.
paying 3 times. There's no way that they paid $15 to all 3 of those drivers to drive all the way out here and drive all the way back.
Oh no. But like, here's the thing: is like, it's so bad, dude. Because like the one that got put on the hood of the car, gets put on the hood of the car, and
Look,
then
they
like
took a picture of where
took a
they
picture of where
set-
they put it. Like, this is an acceptable place. Look
Yeah.
how nicely I placed
I
your package on the hood
looked
of your
at my
car.
phone and it said that the package was delivered and saw the picture of it on my car.
So see
and
that-
just got up and said, Jason, God damn it, it's not my fucking car.
Within 5 minutes, the doorbell rings where another Amazon driver is dropping off another package for another person.
Yeah.
So, like, of course I ran out there. It's like, hey, look at this shit. Look at this is on the car. This is you guys. He's like, I'll put it where it's supposed to go, man.
He even
I
rang
know
the
you did,
doorbell.
but you're wearing Amazon on your chest, so I'm yelling at
Yeah.
you for a minute.
Right.
It's like, I know you did what you were supposed to. Just let me yell for a minute and I'll feel better. He's like, okay.
Like half of them do. I don't know. I feel bad for the half that do, but
I mean, he put it where it's supposed to go and rung the doorbell even.
Yeah.
Like, even took the second to ring the doorbell, like, hey, your
well,
shit's out
he
here.
needs to quit that job and join our job.
That's exactly right.
He is a higher
Nobody-
class of deliverer.
And
No
that's what I
one
told him.
has rang
It's
the
like, you need to
doorbell.
stop. You need to
You know
stop.
you could be making 3 times as much for doing the same thing, right?
That's what I told him. I was like, you need to get a job with the post office because you'll get paid a lot more, and you're already doing what you should be doing, not like the other Amazon drivers.
In the 10 seconds I've met you, I can tell you're qualified.
You're more qualified than the brethren that you work with.
But I mean, like, but they sent 2 people out here within 10 minutes. Why not put those 2 packages on the same truck?
I actually think both those were to the same name, too.
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, one was packaged on a truck 10 minutes before the other one, and they were both put on that truck 2
that's a
hours before
problem.
they got to you.
But that's a
They were
fucking
ordered on the
problem.
same order the
It's
same
a
day.
massive logistics failure.
Yeah, same order, same day. We're going to split them
Literally.
up and have 2 different people deliver. And that's just where they pay their people by the piece.
Right.
And they don't. I think they don't want to give the same guy 2 packages for the same house because he's going to get paid twice for doing half the work. I think it's a spite thing. I really do.
That's
But that
stupid.
costs them more money. That doesn't make any sense. Because they still
Well-
have to pay for the gas and for the liability of putting a person in a vehicle
Sure.
and driving out here.
But it's Amazon, man. They don't look at it like they're trying to keep people from unionizing.
We're going to spite our own workers.
They are anti your workers. They're
Wow.
anti Amazon workers. Anti's biggest enemy is their own like a workforce. Like, seriously, I really believe that.
Bezos doesn't care. He's got so much fucking money. He's like Scrooge McDuck in his vault.
I just saw recently how much he makes each year.
It disgusts me every time I see it because I don't understand.
It's ridiculous.
Anymore, I can't get an Amazon delivery without maybe half of them.
Well, and like the other problem is Amazon was
Or
like
decent.
really awesome and really good, and they put everybody out of business. Like, there's nowhere in town I can go to get like electronic connectors and wires and encoders. I have to order that shit on Amazon or from
Right.
another website that's going to take fucking 3 weeks to get here.
Mm-hmm.
Because guess what? Radio Shack don't exist anymore. Half because of Radio Shack itself being assholes, and the other half because of Amazon.
Radio Shack was well on its way down before Amazon
was,
put the boot
But
on their
what
throat.
was keeping them alive was you had no other place to go get small electronic parts
Yeah.
anywhere that
Yeah.
you weren't going to be waiting 6 weeks for it.
Yeah, no, I've probably been to Radio Shack half a dozen times in my life, and I was angry the entire time I was in there because I had to be there.
But
But that
but
was the
Radio
only
Shack
place
started
you could
shooting
go.
Right.
themselves in the foot by selling cell phones and remote control cars
Mhm.
and reducing that
VCRs
electronics
and-
section smaller and smaller and smaller. And I told the guy in Shepherds, I was like, you know, the only reason people come in here is for that tiny fucking section in the back.
And he knows, but they only make 4 cents off that tiny thing, and they make $100 off
know what?
remote control car.
Last week or whenever, when you were trying to get me to find that cable that you needed, and you sent me to Best Buy and things,
Yeah.
I was like, "Why the fuck isn't there a Radio Shack?"
Yeah, you
'Cause I
can't-
could have walked into Radio Shack,
Paid
asked
double
the
for
guy-
it, but I would have had it that day. Is like, that was the purpose of Radio Shacks. I know I'm going to pay double for whatever this part's worth,
but it's right
but
there.
it's here and I can have it.
Well, don't worry. Before too much longer, Amazon will have like an Amazon electronics store. They're
Oh,
putting up
Great.
actual physical stores all over the country now. I don't understand it.
So I needed a very
competing
simple
with
cable
themselves.
2 weeks ago.
Like, I
Very
knew what this
fucking
looked
simple.
like, so you know it's not
USB
complicated.
to USB. Not USB to USB-C, not
Mhm.
USB to USB-B.
That should be the easiest
Need
cable to
a
find.
USB to a USB. There was
Nearly
not a
impossible.
store in Louisville.
Well, Best Buy had
Shit.
one for like
Time.
30.
Not a store in this town, 43 minutes.
I would have started checking gas
Best Buy
stations
had
before I
one
went to
for-
electronic stores, honestly.
I did.
This is the only place you'd find one.
$30.
Best Buy had one for $30.
What the fuck?
And
was
it was-
it a monster?
No, but it was 2.5 feet, and I needed it to be at least 3.5 feet. What are you gonna do with a 2.5
I wouldn't
foot
even
cable?
have paid that for a
No.
3.5
Didn't pay it.
foot one. That's
Didn't
fucking
I didn't pay
crazy.
it. Don't worry.
Yeah. Like, I checked Walmart.
I had to order one on Amazon, which
Check
then took
Walmart.
5 days to get here. But that was the only place you could purchase
Yeah.
one other than one for $30.
that
like-
was too short.
That is a super simple cable. it had me scrambling to try to figure out, like, well, is there a USB-C to a regular USB, like, adapter that I could purchase and then buy one of these cables and then use that?
I got into it even worse, and at the dollar store was talking to 4 people about this.
Well, you should not have went to the dollar store for a USB.
It was the
USB
last
cable.
thing. I was looking for adapters because I was looking for like
they
the
don't have
USB-C to
that
USB, and they had some transfer from a different store. It said, "Oh, actually, we have iPhone ones."
That's not gonna work.
No.
It would have if they had what they said because they had the USB to the iPhone, and she said, "And we sell the iPhone adapter to USB, so that it would be USB to USB." But that store
yeah,
didn't
that would've
care.
worked.
Like they were out of it.
Oh.
Like I literally went to I think 10 stores and
Calvin-
called.
I mean, there's a problem with the
Radio
world.
Shack out in my end of town. I think there's one that's still open.
Calvin needed a USB.
if it is, it's privately
not too long
owned. It's
ago,
not
and
Road
I
that
searched
starts
for
with a
like 10
W.
minutes just to find a USB-C
Out by
for
me.
Calvin's.
That one might still be there, actually.
You know where I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just asking.
There's one over
In a
across
minute.
from the
I
park.
mean, they just
They
had
were
a
there
bunch
like
of
maybe
them. None
5
of them were
years
in the
ago.
right things,
I went looking for something. I don't remember what. It
But
was
like
some
when you walk
tiny
in one,
piece.
it's like
and they had it.
they don't have all of that electronic shit like they used to. Like the last Radio Shack I walked into for a set of resistors instead of LED lights. And it's like, that corner, and I'm
Right.
like,
And the
you-
person you're talking to doesn't know anything about the parts.
Yeah,
They're
it
like
used
what
to-
we have is back there.
like they used to have like dorks working there,
Yeah.
and you'd walk in and be like, I need. Actually, what you would want to do is, and then he would sell you the shit you actually needed, so you didn't have to come back later
And then probably
because
tell
you bought the wrong
10
shit.
extra things that you could do with this and stuff.
There is a Radio Shack near us. It's in that town that Russ lives in.
Yeah.
They have one.
Fun fact: I tried to work at Radio Shack for my second job. I was like
Yeah,
18, maybe.
You would have been good at Radio Shack. You would have,
I did not get hired because
That's
I was
so
not dressed well enough for the interview.
and you probably didn't know enough about cell phone plans.
They didn't even ask me any of that. Like I showed up and I wasn't wearing a tie, so
Really?
they
serious?
made me leave. Yeah.
That's fucking ridiculous.
And it was a super old guy who was doing it, and I could tell just by the way that the interaction. He's like, "Well, maybe you just came from a ball game or something, but we expect our employees to be better." And I was like, and I was wearing like khaki pants and
And
a
a
polo
polo?
shirt, like decent clothes,
That's
not
ridiculous.
dress clothes.
That's ridiculous because here's the
Like,
thing.
you show up to an interview, blah blah blah, and I didn't see anybody else who was there, but I guess everybody else showed up in a fucking tie.
It's
Anyway.
ridiculous because here's the thing. They probably hired a guy that just pushed cell phones all the time because it's what he got the commission on. Where if somebody actually come in needing this part or this part,
I
you-
would have known.
you would have known enough to know what they were
especially
looking
back
for.
then.
Yeah, you would
And
have known.
honestly, half the reason I wanted that job is just so I could learn more of that kind of shit while I was doing the job.
It's fucking ridiculous.
But it's
So that, like I said, Radio Shack, half a victim of themselves.
Yeah.
Because they were so fucking assholes the last 10 years they were really in existence.
It's true.
Hey,
They haven't
let's,
really been big since like the 80s.
let's get you a new cell phone while you're in here. Like, fuck you, man. I'm here for a goddamn breadboard. Get the fuck out of my way. We don't have food here. Ugh. Assholes. Anyway. So, yeah, no, I'm having fun with this whole project. I'm now an electronics master. I'm going to get me one of them little visors, a solder gun. Go breathe in some of those lead fumes. You know,
Maybe
the,
you should wear
the
a-
Like a
electronics
welder's
visor.
mask is
Mask?
what you need.
What? No.
A mask? I mean, they're
No.
readily available right now.
It's little tiny.
Welder's mask.
I have heard talk getting something for welding too.
What?
Just in
Oh,
general.
yeah, that was a joke.
And then like
hurt
after you get
yourself.
done working, shoot a little welding gun like off to the side just so there's sparks.
Yeah, that's the way he's gonna clap from now on. Just have the sparks going off behind him from.
No, we went in
The
Harbor.
machine shoots sparks out the side. You'll sell that shit for bank.
I went in Harbor Freight to get the drill bits because they were basically going to be one-time use drill bits. And, you know, Harbor Freight is like excellent tools that you use one time.
Yeah.
The second time, they're not going to work as good. They're not reliable tools. They're excellent tools when you just need to use a tool one time and don't want to pay.
Disposable tools.
Yeah, $30 for this tool or $5 and I get to use it once. It's basically tool rental is what you're doing.
Except you just throw it away afterwards instead of taking it back.
Yeah.
Easy cleanup, no storage needed.
Sounds like a
So,
good idea.
Plus they have like half off deals every day.
So apparently they did a credit card. And so like their credit card signs were up and they were over by the welders because apparently they do have functioning welders. I don't know. And I was like, oh, let's get a credit card and a welder to weld shit.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Okay.
Obviously. Amy, do you see a
Okay,
welder?
No.
Wait till the end of the story, Amy.
Jazz is like, what are you going to weld? And I'm like, metal, dummy. Like,
Where are you gonna get
You
the
gotta ask
metal?
Russ. I feel like he has a spare welder just sitting around his
I
house.
feel like he would have a TIG welder just chilling. He's got like
He's
a
like, "Yeah,
welder
I've got
and then a
3.
backup.
Just come,
Yeah.
just
You're
make sure you
gonna
bring
ask
it back.
Okay, what kind of welding do you want? Do you want like the starter set here for all the little beginners? Do you know a little bit? Because we can move you up to this model. And then we've got this model here.
Have you welded before? No. Okay, you want this one.
No, I do have acetylene torches in the garage, like a full tank setup for acetylene torches. So I could do that, and that looks really cool. It's like the blue flame on the little handgun thing.
Man, if you can build a table out of metal, you'll get even more for it.
I'm gonna get chrome angle iron to go up the sides for sure.
Make
like,
it look
no
all
doubt.
fancy.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like a real table. Some of that stuff, I think I'm gonna eventually just like. There's a company called Marco Specialties that sell like aftermarket parts for your pinball tables.
Yeah.
I think probably what I'm gonna wind up doing is like ordering some of their aftermarket shit for this and that.
Just
That's
like the
just
pre-made
easier.
thing,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
pre-made for a certain table, but will fit on this one. Like the side rails and the lock bar and shit like that. Right now I'm thinking about whether I'm going to put a coin door on it or not, a fake coin door, or whether I'm just going to get a coin door sticker and slap on it.
It's the little details.
Well, coin door stickers, like, from far away look right.
Yeah.
When you get up close, you're like, that's a fucking sticker. That looks fake as hell.
Just put a non-working coin door on it.
That's what I was thinking, but they're so fucking heavy, dude. And they're so fucking expensive.
Yeah, but they attach to the front part.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a... What do you mean, just like for shipping reasons it's too
Just
heavy? Or
for every reason. Like, you're going to have to brace it. Coin doors weigh like 20 pounds.
Really?
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
I figured it came set in the thing and you just screw the thing onto the front
No,
piece of wood.
it hangs onto that front piece of wood. Like, if you open up a regular pinball machine or an arcade machine, like, there's actually like 2x2 braces
Oh, really?
that hold that in there, yeah. It's that heavy, so like
So
it's not as
basically
easy to break
too
into.
much work unless you wanted to make it functional.
Yeah,
but that,
which I'm not going to
that
do.
Probably wouldn't, yeah.
But they do sell like coin door buttons. This one company does. So I was thinking about doing half and half, doing a sticker and having the coin door buttons there, because the visual pinball tables, you have to actually insert a coin, which you have to wire to a button.
Okay.
And having it to where you press the coin door buttons that look like the actual lit up 25-cent.
Yeah.
You know
So
what I'm
you'd
saying?
be
Coin
pushing
doors.
it like you're trying to get your money back.
Yeah, so you push it like you're trying to get your money back, but instead it's putting money in. It's like a hack.
Huh.
Anyway, I don't know. This is
You
way
ready
too
till
much
actual
pinball
quarters
talk.
come out when I push the button? Because I would totally be on that.
Well, I am thinking about moving the slot machines up there and actually locking them up to where nobody can get their money back out and using that as the arcade fund.
So
There
you're
you
not
go.
gonna be able to let Calvin have access to a key where he can just open it up, take
No.
his money out, and
No.
drop it back in.
At some point, do you think the kids would figure out just don't play the slot machines?
No, it's just going to be the house one is what I'm talking about.
Maybe,
These people.
You know, maybe if he hits a jackpot or something, we give him like some candy.
No, here's exactly what would happen is I would set it up, tell him the rules. He would go get one of my quarters because he knows where they're at, put it in, hit the jackpot, and expect the rest of his payout because the machine doesn't have enough money in it yet.
I think that's what Avery did when we first got
He
the damn
did.
thing. He
He
wanted
did.
his money.
All right, so let's take a break, and we'll be back in like 5 minutes or so.
Break it.
It's the CBS Kmart Get Ready giveaway. And get ready for Gerald McCraney as Major Dan. He's a Marine officer who thought his toughest battles were over till he fell in love with a sizzling civilian and her 3 darling daughters. It's a hilarious battle of the sexes. So get ready for Major Dad, Mondays on CBS. And now you have a second chance at winning any unclaimed grand prizes by entering the CBS Kmart Get Ready giveaway second chance sweepstakes. Look for details here at Kmart.
Doug Masters, raised on an airbase, born to fly.
Doug, it's your dad. He's been shot down. You know he ain't got a chance.
Chappie Sinclair, the only man who can help Doug save his father's life.
The Americans must die.
The rescue the government can't risk, they will.
They picked us up on radar. Too late for them now.
Louis Gossett Jr., Jason Gittrick, Iron Eagle, rated PG-13. Starts Friday at a theater near you.
Turn it on. Leave it on.
I want my MTV. All right.
I want my MTV.
I want my MTV.
See new video music you can't see anywhere else. New interviews, new concerts, new guests.
DJ?
New specials. There's always something new on MTV. 24 hours a day on cable TV.
Too much, Ed. Too much.
Never.
It's never enough.
Hi, Alf here. Me and my pal Brian are hosting all your favorite NBC shows this Saturday morning. It's going to be out of this world.
AIDS is a killer that does not discriminate. All Americans need to know the basic facts. Write AIDS, Box 14252, Washington, D.C. 20044.
Yes, it's Doc Rock, and me and Santa are putting together a Christmas list. So what do you want for Christmas? Sanyo rack system starting at $267. Sanyo car speakers, $5 each. Portable black and white, $49. In-dash AM/FM cassette, $20. Portable VCR with camera, $599. Santa says $1,500 instant credit, 90-day Santa's cash, major credit cards accepted, and guaranteed lowest prices, 27th in Memorial. Sell in Saturday.
Kellogg's Product 19 cereal. More vitamin nutrition than any other cereal. But you'd never guess because Product 19 vitamins are flaky, bumpy, crispy, crunchy, and taste oh so good. Product 19 goodness comes from corn, oats, wheat, and rice. Delicious Kellogg's Product 19 cereal. Flaky, bumpy, crispy, crunchy. Mmm. Tasty vitamins.
It's the CBS Kmart Get Ready giveaway, and get ready for Snoops. He's a college professor, she's a diplomatic liaison, and they're having the time of their lives, while others are losing theirs. Get ready for Tim Reed and Daphne Maxwell Reed, the most stylish twosome ever to solve a crime. Get ready for Snoops, Friday on CBS. And now, you have a second chance at winning any unclaimed grand prizes by entering the CBS Kmart Get Ready giveaway Second Chance Sweepstakes. Look for details here at Kmart.
Hello, shoppers. Visit our shoe department for the quality you need, the prices you want, and the brand names you trust. For hunting, hiking, working, everything, look for the great values on men's outdoor boots from Texas Steer and Northwest Territory. You'll also find first-quality national name brand athletic footwear. Shoes from names like Pony, Jordache, Nautilus, Spalding, McGregor, and more. Whatever the activity or sport, you'll find the quality, brand, and the price you want at Kmart, the savings place. Have you ever noticed that big jobs leave even bigger messes? We have. That's why we carry a variety of Hoover vacuum cleaners. Martha Stewart, our entertainment and lifestyle consultant, recommends the lightweight Hoover Elite Upright Cleaner and the cordless Hoover Double-Duty Wet and Dry Hand Vac. Hoover, just another one of the great names that's at home with
And we're back. Everybody went and peed, I think.
Jazz didn't.
Jazz, why didn't you pee?
Do you not have to pee?
I
It was
peed
the pee
before
break.
the show, so
Well, I
that I
did
wouldn't
too.
have to.
So did
But
In the
I,
middle of it.
I drank an entire cup of coffee while I was out here.
I'm
So.
drinking
Point of a pee
Monster,
break
just
if
didn't
everybody
need to
doesn't
break.
pee.
Yeah, you should really go pee.
We might
You
have
should
to
at least
pause
go
the
try.
show until Jazz goes
good.
and pees.
Well, you're not going to have another chance for a while.
You send me in there, I'm gonna go up and play pinball.
My secret is I
We've been
can.
talking about pinball all fucking day, and I
Sorry,
work
this sounds
tonight.
like a lot
I'll
of
go play
mom
pinball.
talk here. Like,
My secret is I can always pee, no matter what.
I can
All right,
pee right
shitty
now.
Hulk. That's a bad secret.
It's
Is
not
that
a
your
great one.
superpower?
Literally, I can just go pee anytime. I just peed. I guarantee I go pee a little bit again. Constantly. It's great.
It's called getting old, Jason.
Maybe. It's possible. Yeah, somebody said something, I didn't go to bed at 3 o'clock. And I was like, I'd already been up and pissed twice by then. Anyway. Yeah, so work has been work.
Yeah, I don't
Nothing
mind.
special.
Like my new big route started yesterday.
Oh yeah, how's that going?
151 addresses added to me. Not that bad.
Do you get paid more?
Took me. Oh yeah.
Okay,
I get
cool.
paid an hour and a half a day more.
Nice.
It took me about an hour yesterday.
So, you saw those bids went up, got awarded.
Yeah.
They're coming back down.
Why?
They put up the award sheet at my office Friday or Thursday
With no bid sheet. I
there was
assume.
never a bid sheet.
Hold on. If they've already been awarded, they can't undo that.
Yeah, they can. They have 10 days from the awarding for any grievances about the awarding to be filed.
Was it you that filed the grievance?
Didn't
Oh,
have
okay.
to.
So it's not like the people have already started.
They haven't
the
started.
routes.
No.
They
It
just
was-
closed the bidding.
Yeah.
And then, okay.
Yeah.
Well, good. Are you planning on bidding on something? Or you just want to fuck with them?
No, just gonna fuck with them.
Okay.
Because they got reposted once before because it didn't go up at a different office.
You know, there were 2 separate postings, right?
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the number of routes. I mean, there
Yeah.
were 2 separate postings, and each one had, I think, 2 routes.
Yeah. Well, the one before this one is the same routes because it didn't go up at some office that it was supposed to go up at, and somebody filed a grievance, and so it got reposted. So now it's getting reposted again for the same reason.
Well,
You think people would learn to just post them?
I went and talked to both of the supervisors before it went up that were there and said, "Hey, these routes are going to come up for bid, and I need them to be posted here because I might bid on them. I don't know. I want the option. So make sure you're on the email list. Make sure you do whatever you got to do. Talk to whoever you got to talk to."
Stupid rule. I mean, I understand it needs to be done, but
Well, it doesn't need to be done because I'm not checking Light Blue for routes every week.
yeah.
Like, and
also, this is a problem you've been having for like 10 years.
yeah. And where I'm at, like, unless you tell me, unless you pick up the phone and call me, "Hey, they just posted some routes out here," I'm not gonna know.
Yeah. And honestly, I'm the same way anymore. I don't talk. The only way
Yeah.
you would ever find out is if somebody saw the posting or
At their station
somebody
and
happened
gave
to
me a
be
call, yeah.
online and just checked.
And I'm not checking every week because we're not like city carriers. Like city carriers have a day when their routes get posted, so everybody can just go check.
Mhm.
If it doesn't get posted, the office, not a big deal.
Clerks are the same way.
Yeah, not a big deal. They know what days to check. It's on their calendar.
Right.
Routes go up this day. Routes go up that day. So just check on that day. Ours aren't like that.
No, they're just random.
Yep. And like I keep telling them, because I know what's going to happen is the route I want when that guy retires or dies. What's going to happen is we're going to be waiting on him to post it, and then one day a new person's going to walk in and start working on that route without it ever being posted at our office.
Yeah.
That's the way it'll go, dude. And like,
yeah,
I'm nipping that shit in the bud now.
I mean, you say that, but
Is it really going to change?
again, this is an issue you've been having for like 10 years. Do you think it's going to fix it?
Maybe eventually he'll get a supervisor that stays.
Well,
that'll do it.
This is
Or
the
that
second.
gives a
This is
shit.
the second time they're posting this one.
You're asking a lot, Jazz.
And like I took a long weekend this weekend. I needed a mental health weekend this weekend. I had scheduled Friday, Saturday, and Monday off this week. Just a little 3-day turns into a 4-day.
I have an important question regarding that, but I'm going to let you finish.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did you watch WandaVision?
No.
Fuck you.
I tried to get him to watch it the other
Pinball and
day.
arcade room, dude.
Fuck
you. Did you see I hung up the Zelda sword? I've got a picture that I'm putting above it. Says it's dangerous to go alone. Take this with you. I
saw the
Can
sword.
we watch it today?
Well, I haven't got the picture up yet.
Did you see if you
I
take
think so.
22 minutes out of your fucking day, you can watch an episode of the show, and then when you love it and you're sending me text messages
I
about
was-
how great it is, I'm
I
going to
was
be like,
told
yeah.
by Beth yesterday that I had to watch at least the first 3 or I wouldn't like it.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, Jason would like the first few episodes on their own, even if you don't watch the rest of which, I mean, the season's only like 8
hasn't
episodes.
seen-
And
okay,
towards the
does it
end of the
matter
season,
that
it
he
starts
hasn't
getting
seen
more
Infinity War?
into Marvel stuff. But the first half of the season, you don't need to know anything about anybody because most
Okay.
of the plot isn't even about the movies. Plus, Disney has this little thing. It's called Disney Legends, and it's just one of the options when you're scrolling through Disney Plus, and it's just a little recap. They have one for Vision and one for Wanda, and it's like a 2 or 3 minute video, and you can see everything pertinent about them that happened in all the movies.
Is Vision a bad guy or a good guy?
He's a good guy. He hasn't
He's the
seen
one.
Age
He
of
has.
Ultron.
Wanda, bad
He
guy or
has
good
one.
guy?
She
hasn't-
started as a bad guy.
These are 2 different people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wanda.
Wanda is the Scarlet Witch,
yeah.
who I'm
Until y'all
kind of
said
honestly
Marvel, I didn't
surprised you
know
don't
what
know.
WandaVision was.
Well, I remember
And
these from
Vision.
the comic
Watch.
books, which are much different storylines, I'm sure, than what's actually in the movies.
Alejandro
Yeah,
says it's
I mean,
an
they're-
amazing show.
They're kind of it is. Vision was a machine that was built with the Infinity Stone in his head. He was I think he
Now,
was
I know Infinity Stones because they were in Guardians of the Galaxy, so I know what those are.
That's actually the only reason I know.
one of the 5 things Thanos had in his glove.
Yeah.
The yellow one is the one that powered Vision.
Has not made it there.
Actually, I read those comic books.
And the scene when Thanos kills
He hasn't
Vision
even
in the
seen Age
movies
of
is like
Ultron.
probably the saddest scene in all of the Marvel series too.
I know what the Infinity Stones are. They're the things that faded out when they were in Scully's stomach because he ate the gems during the Halloween heist.
Yeah, it's Brooklyn Nine-Nine lore. That's different.
Yeah, totally separate story.
Anyway, like Thanos in the movies when he kills people, he kills them in some
horrible,
incredible way because he's Thanos. Vision, he plucks the Infinity Stone out of his head. And like you see all the wires coming out of his head and they disconnect and he turns gray and falls down.
And I mean, Wanda's standing right there when it happens. Yeah. They're together. Yeah.
Together?
Together. Yeah.
So they fucking is what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
but he's a
I don't
robot.
know. He's a robot, but I don't know. It was implied.
You kind of find out the backstory of how they meet in the show, though.
Oh,
Did you watch the whole season?
I haven't watched it.
Okay.
I ain't maybe.
Just watch an episode. Just watch one fucking episode.
All right, maybe. I did watch Murder Among the Mormons this week.
How was that?
It's good.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why it's good. Is you can tell.
There's a lot of
you can tell who's
inspired
good.
themes.
You can tell who's good and who's bad by who they interview inside of a lodge room. Seriously, like after the first episode, I was like, "Oh, this guy's a bad guy, not in a lodge."
So it's not like Tiger King where you were watching and every episode you're like, he's a bad guy. No, he's a good. No. What?
Well,
what just happened?
Most people might be because when they interview him, unless you're like us, you're not going to realize it's a lodge. And
that's basically what I was wondering is how much Freemasonry stuff is in it.
None.
Not a lot.
Unless you already know like the connections and everything, and then it's kind of there.
I do believe Calandris was still on WandaVision when he said that you would appreciate the throwbacks, themes of the episode.
I was trying to avoid telling him anything about that as much as possible.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it eventually.
Nothing Freemasonry related, by the way. Don't get confused about that.
Fine. That's fine. Anyway, and like knowing the history of the Mormons and the Masons, it's like I'm sitting there watching it. Like one of the first guys they talked to, I'm like, "That's a lodge room," and it's like very obviously a lodge room, and he's being interviewed like to the left of the altar from the east. Because you can see the west, and then you can see like the galley seats that are set up like in every lodge along the side. And I'm like,
that's funny.
That's a fucking lodge, no doubt about it. He's being interviewed in a lodge, and so I just decided I've got to quit my job and move to Utah to be a Mason because those motherfuckers are some,
you'd have to convert to Mormonism.
No. Obviously not, because it's very illegal for you to be a Mormon and a Mason. To the Mormons,
even though the overlap is like,
well, it's because he stole all our shit.
That's what I mean.
Well, they don't want you.
Who, John Smith that
Yeah.
listened to the rocks out in the woods?
Yeah, they don't want you being a Mormon.
They want you being a Freemason because you'd be like, wait a minute, I've seen this before.
So you're a Freemason, and then you're learning. It's like, I already know that word. Yeah, I already know how to do that too.
I've already got that.
But this thing is way older than this thing. So y'all just stole our shit.
Maybe Freemasonry just changed everything they did
you think that's what
when
it was?
Mormonism came about. They
That's
saw
possible.
Mormonism. They were like,
That
that's what
makes
we
sense.
want to be.
That makes sense.
Let's change our
Pretended
shit
that
up.
That was what it was all along, right?
No, that's the way it makes sense, yeah.
We'll make the underwear and apron. Nobody will ever know.
Anyway, I have a unique theory about it that you haven't seen, so I'm not going to get into it because there is a twist ending. But
to the show?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, the person you don't think did it's the one who did it.
Is it a series or a documentary?
It's like 3 episodes.
I thought it was a documentary.
It
type
is. It's like
thing.
3 episodes, though. It's like 3.5 hours long, broken into
I was
hours.
scrolling through Netflix yesterday and I saw it and it looked kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's worth watching.
So it's kind of like, again, Tiger King, where when you get towards the end of the series and you're hoping he's not a bad guy, and then all that shit starts coming out, and you're like, oh, well, I didn't want him to be blameless.
Dude, Tiger King, it
This
was
dude just needs to stay in prison.
Like, that thing was so unique, though. Like I looked up like 3 times. Is this really real? Like it felt like
And
a
it was
mockumentary
every time.
Like
Look. Did
the
Jordan
whole thing.
just like change everything about him and go do this to make fun of us? Okay,
Like
that what's going on
it
here?
really feels like a mockumentary. Like it feels like there's no way this happened in real life, and I ain't already heard
I
about
remember
it.
you making me watch it, and I was like, "Is this real or?"
Until you get to the second to last episode, I think it was, and you're like, "Oh, this shit's just all fucked up. Everybody's fucked up. This is real. They're just all fucked up."
Yeah, and I mean, like, seriously, I looked up like 3 times. Like, is this really real? Like, is this? Let me Google this motherfucker too. Oh no, he's a real person.
I'm
That
guessing
really
Trump didn't pardon him
No.
before he
No,
left.
of course
'cause
not.
I heard that was gonna.
He ain't
make
got
it
enough money for
happen.
Trump to pardon. But it's okay though, because I heard Biden's dogs bit people this week. That's all over the
Biden's fault.
All over the right wing
Did he
talking.
Was it a person of color?
But no, I think it was
Oh,
just
thank
a secret.
God.
I think it was a Secret Service agent.
Well, still, was it a person of color?
I don't think so. No, it's just like they're all up in arms about, you know, Biden's dog like biting someone and giving them minor injuries, and I'm like, do y'all remember anything that happened in the last 4 years? Do you remember when the president said drink bleach?
What I love is like
he said drink bleach.
A week or two ago, all of my far right friends on Facebook are posting shit about Cuomo. They're like, "Where's the outrage now, libs? Why aren't you all mad about Cuomo?"
there.
Like, every day they're posting shit, and every day the left is getting more and more angrier about Cuomo. I'm like, they're just as pissed as you. Why are you still posting this shit?
What did he do?
He like sexually harassed a bunch of
didn't
people.
he
He
do?
lied. Yeah, he did some sexually inappropriate things. He lied about COVID shit a lot, apparently.
Sounds like most politicians.
Agreed, but the left is sitting there saying this is wrong. He needs to resign. Like,
I think the issue is that he did a lot of COVID stuff right, like way back when,
and then started lying about it.
and then the right disliked that, and then
Well, no, but it's come
his
out that
fault.
he's lied about a bunch of COVID stuff, and he's did stuff that was against like his own policies and stuff. He was
really.
Yeah, he did some like not great things there.
The main issue at hand, though, is
The sexual harassment.
molestation stuff.
Were they underage?
But like all of the left is saying, yeah, something bad needs to happen to like resign. Like most of the senators and congressmen from New York have said, told him to resign, like asked for him to resign. But if this was a Republican guy, they'd be like, oh, it's just boys being boys. What are you worried about? What's a little insurrection among friends?
And then they all find out that Democrats are in fact pissed about Cuomo, so they just start talking about something else immediately.
Mr. Potato Head
They just
not having a
ignore-
dick anymore.
Right, well, Pepe Le Pew, I think, bothers me more than anything.
What's up with him? Is he being
He's
charged with
yes.
sexual harassment?
No. Warner Brothers has removed him from Space Jam 2. They cut the scene he was going to be in, and they're probably just not going to have him as a character going forward. He had a couple scenes in Space Jam 2, and they announced last week that they're removing him.
But to be fair, though, if you go back and look at Pepe Le Pew cartoons, he was a sexual harasser.
Yes.
Oh yes.
But he's a cartoon.
Sure.
And the point of his character is that that's a reprehensible character. Like, nobody likes this skunk. The girl tries to get away from him the whole fucking episode. He doesn't have any friends.
I see
he
your
just
point.
goes around being an asshole.
And that's
anybody who watched that show understands that's not a thing I want to be like.
I think that's how me and you
Why
see
get
it.
rid of him?
But I think boomers see it as see, it's fine. Pepe Le Pew does it. Let me grab your butt.
Well, boomers
Whatever.
need to be canceled then. That's not... I mean, that's not an... I don't understand...
Y'all remember
like,
when Donald
okay,
Trump said, grab him by the pussy?
It's one thing when a human being makes his living, like makes a bunch of money off whatever he's doing that he needs to be canceled for. It's another thing when it's a fictional character. Like, who fucking cares? If he disappears, it doesn't matter. Warner
agree.
Brothers is still making their shit anyway.
Why don't they
You're just all
make
we're doing
him-
is whitewashing it. So
Why don't they just have him, make a comeback and be like, I'm sorry for these things that I
be
did
awesome.
in the past.
Pepe Le Pew comes out and he's like, wait a minute, I've been an asshole for 50 years now.
So I got on the
Do
internet.
like a random like comb over type thing. So
Turns out
he takes some black paint and paints over the stripe on his back.
Turns out I've been wrong about a few things.
Number one, I took a bath.
Turns out that white wasn't actually there. Black the whole time.
Right.
No, but I mean, like, it like 2 weeks ago they were mad that they put like disclaimers in front of the Muppets episodes, which the Muppet episodes, like the thing about it is like the Muppet episodes were never really meant for kids. Like people think it is now because that's what it became.
Really?
But if you go back and watch the Muppet Show, it was like for grown-ups. It was like sometimes edgy-ish comedy. And like they're like, well, why would you do this? I was like, I don't know, maybe because Johnny Cash in the 70s was singing in front of a Confederate flag. Like, you know, like that's not really something, you know, it's not a show you put on for your kids, the original Muppet Show. That's why you haven't been able to purchase it until like very recently. That's why it hasn't been out, because the Muppets become Sesame Street for fucking above toddlers.
And that's happened more because of the movies, I think.
Yeah. Which if you go back and watch the very first Muppet movie, like it's kind of like
risque.
Not risque, but it's more so
For
than
kids.
like Muppets now.
Yeah.
It's, you know, PG-13-ish on the verge. Like one of their characters is
think I've ever
basically
seen
like
a
supposed to be
Muppet- a
Hunter
Muppets
S. Thompson.
movie.
Like
Oh,
Gonzo
yeah.
is Hunter S. Thompson. Like
It's true.
of course it
I mean,
wasn't
they
really made
remove
for kids.
Drug references from the show, but yeah.
But that's what
based
Sesame
off of.
Street was for. Sesame Street is like, here's our Muppets for kids. The Muppet Show is for grown-ups.
Right.
Or grown-ish teenagers. It was like kind of edgy comedy. Yeah, so of course you got to put a disclaimer on it, because you turn on the Muppets, you're expecting Muppet Babies, which is not a thing.
Right.
The
love the Muppet Babies.
Yes, okay, the Muppet Babies were great.
Yeah, but they don't
That's not my point.
exist.
My point is the Muppets aren't the Muppets of today. The Muppets were meant to be edgier, funnier, more grown up.
I miss when Muppet was an insult.
Kind of like
I
Mad
still call
Magazine.
people. I call Kara a
Fucking
Muppet at least once a week. You fucking Muppet.
By the way, let her know that the boxes that I have assumed on my route now are the same ones that I met her out on the very first time she had to help out and she broke down and she was crying on a route. It was those fucking boxes, and I relived that memory yesterday, and it was glorious.
Great. Anyway, she bought a new car. She bought a well.
Did you get it from
new to her.
Carvana?
No.
Oh.
She gave up on that. She bought it from the Jeep dealer here in town. It's
Is
like
she looking at doing that?
She tried doing it.
There's one of those dealerships like on my route. I don't deliver to it, but it's 2 buildings before where I start delivering. Man, they built that thing in like 6 months, and it's just a tiny little skyscraper, and it's like
They
6.
built one in here? I had seen
Like
one
one of the
up
car vending
around-
machine?
Yeah.
I saw one around
I'll take
Cincinnati
a
a few
picture of it
years
tomorrow and
ago.
send it to you.
Yeah. Like there's one up in Cincinnati, where you can go and put in your code and it delivers your car to you.
I mean, it's not very. There's only like maybe 5 cars per floor, and there's like 6 floors.
Mhm.
It's very small, like width-wise, as a building, and then it's tall.
Yeah.
It's a weird looking thing.
Like when I first saw them like online, I thought it was like a joke. I didn't think it was real.
But they do
I remember
business
the
because
debate
I see.
between you two when we saw the commercial or whatever, and Amy was like, "That's real." You're like, "No, there's no way that's real." And we all were debating on whether
Then
it was
we
real
saw
or
one
not.
in
then we
a little
then
bit
we
until
drove
looked
past
it
them. I was
up.
like, we are living in the future.
I see a semi truck with 5 or 6 cars on it going to that thing every day.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I believe it. Yeah, she tried buying one, but her driver's license was too blurry because she has a 1941 telephone.
She wouldn't take a new picture.
And like, there's some kind of security thing where like, she did the loan and everything for him. She filled out all the paperwork, did all this stuff. It was supposed to be delivered on Monday, but then it wound up getting canceled because they sent her another email while she was at
She
work.
got all the way to that point.
Yeah, it was purchased. But they sent her another email while it was at work because they couldn't see her driver's license. It was too blurry, and she needed to send them another picture of her driver's license.
She wouldn't do it.
Her 1941 phone wouldn't take a clear
She
enough
couldn't
picture
borrow
of her.
your phone.
Jason
She was
offered.
on the route.
Didn't you offer?
I offered whenever she did it again to take her
Oh,
the picture with my phone.
Drive to where you are. Her route ain't that far from yours.
Well, and then she got frustrated, and they have some kind of safety thing
I was
where,
gonna say, what does she only have 5 minutes to do it?
where you have 13 hours from the time you sign the last, like digitally sign the last I'm buying this car thing to whenever the deal gets finalized.
Okay.
Otherwise, it cancels the whole thing out. So it canceled the
You
whole
gotta
thing out, and
start
she
over.
wouldn't do it
in
again.
time. Oh, that's funny.
So
That's classic Kara though. Like
Yeah,
that
oh,
issue
yeah.
was 100% because of her obstinance.
Oh yeah, so she bought a Jeep Liberty that's
And
like
she's like, well,
no,
fuck Carvana. I'm never buying a car there.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe a Renegade. I can't remember. It's one of the Jeeps that's not like a Cherokee and it's not like a Jeep. But it's like bright neon green, dude.
Oh,
It's like that
God.
Challenger green they started putting on the Dodges. You can see this motherfucker from space.
Did she she wanted that color?
No, it's what they had with her mileage and her car payment, and that's the color they had. So she's like, "Fuck it, I'll take it." And so like she was hating on the color for like 2 days. And I'm like, I don't know. I think it'll grow on you. You'll never lose your car.
I mean,
Like-
that's true. I can't imagine buying a car that you don't like the color of though. Like, regardless of how bad I needed a car,
She was driving around in a minivan, a champagne minivan, like the day before. So, like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
And now she's all about the color. But everybody's like went up to her and asked her, "Is that the only color that thing comes in?" Because Ooh.
Is it a Compass? A Jeep Compass?
It's either a Renegade or a Liberty. I can't remember which one.
There is the Cherokee, not the
not a
Grand
Cherokee.
Cherokee, just the regular Cherokee.
Not a
It's a
Cherokee.
smaller one. That's what we rented when we drove back from Colorado. That was an okay little
I really
vehicle.
want to say it's a Liberty. I'm pretty sure it's a Liberty.
What did we have? A RAV4?
Yeah, we had a RAV4.
That was a
that we
nice
rented.
little thing.
It was okay-ish.
It had USB plugs in the back seat. I
I like
loved
your
it.
car a lot better than that one.
I liked it better than my car. But
That's the car you wanted. You wanted
I
that car
know,
for
I
like
do
3
want
years,
my-
and
I
that's the car you
know.
got.
No,
Why
I
didn't you
like-
get that one? We went to the place that sold those. You could have got that one.
no, they didn't sell RAV4s. That's a Toyota.
Well, you could have got the Toyota equivalent of that.
Whatever. It's okay.
Or
I
the
like my car.
Honda. I don't know.
I like my car.
CRV.
Yeah, I guess
that's
it
what it
would
was.
be.
That's
Yeah.
what it was, CRV.
You did
I'm
ask
not a
me
big
when
fan
we
of
went
those.
there.
They're
Are you sure you don't want
very
to look at something
curvy.
else?
They look like grandmother cars, although I haven't seen a new one, I guess. So.
They're kind of like a Civic, but taller. And fatter. Like they're that kind
Little
of
bloated.
like weird angles on the fronts, like the sharp angles on the fronts that throw me off. That I don't really care for, but whatever. Not my car. I don't have to drive it.
I like my car.
It's fine.
As long as
I
it's
used
not
my
lime green.
I used my top thing this week.
Sunroof?
Yeah, sunroof. Thank you.
Top thing.
Top thing.
And so you're gonna do that, and then forget to close it one day, and your car will be full of water. No, your car probably yells at you when you don't close it.
Day.
Probably. My car yells at me about everything.
It's kind of like that.
And that's in a bright green.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
that's it. It's a fucking bright green, like.
Ooh.
I didn't try for the color.
I don't
Like lime green is
Such a
too
weird looking. I don't think I would ever get that in any color, but maybe black.
like lime
front of
green
it.
is like too natural a color. This is an unnatural color. This is not something that's found in nature.
Front's
This is,
too
It's
boxy.
not natural limes. It's artificial limes.
it is like lime candy color. It is like Runts lime.
Is it like on your mouse pad there?
Yeah, that's really close to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's but she
Like-
likes it. That's all that
So
matters.
rat being green.
Yeah, rat frink green. Yeah, there you go. Which looks, for some reason, that color to me looks good on like the Chargers and stuff like you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
that's like a sports car color.
Yeah.
On that, I probably wouldn't have chose it.
Hmm.
Like that's a sports car color, not a SUV.
Maybe if it was
color.
that. What's the one? The like the faster one that they sell.
I don't know.
I might get that one in the lime green.
I don't think I'd ever get
Some
lime
kind of muscly thing.
Then we had an argument one day.
The
over,
Challenger, like the new Challengers, look good in lime green.
Well, we had an argument one day over whether a Ford Escape was a crossover or not.
Yes.
A Ford Escape was advertised as the first crossover. It's the first place I heard the term crossover and had to look it up. Like, what the fuck's a crossover?
I mean, it's not.
But she says it's an SUV.
I don't
and
understand the
basically don't-
difference
be a
between a
mid-
crossover and a small SUV. Like, aren't those the same thing?
The small SUV is a crossover.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's more about like its
Are
rod
they saying
height.
it's a mid-size?
It's more, well, no, they say it's she says it's an SUV. I say it's a crossover. It's more
Well,
about its rod size
So
and its
you're
cabin.
you're saying
dimensions.
it's more that it handles like a car.
Yeah. It
would
rides
be,
lower.
Would be the big difference.
It's just boxier like an SUV, but not as big on the inside as an SUV. Like it's a four-seater.
It's like a small.
That's the arbitrary
SUV.
difference to me.
I understand, but my point is Ford advertised it as a fucking crossover, and she's telling me it ain't a crossover. It's like, fuck you. They invented the name crossover for it.
I thought the Sport Track was the first crossover.
No, because the Sport Track's a truck. They try saying it's a truck
No,
SUV.
the first half of it was an SUV.
They
It's an
try
SUV
saying-
with a bed.
Yeah.
A tiny bed.
That's not the kind of crossover
That you
we're
couldn't
talking
even
about.
fit an actual bed in.
That is a shitty truck and a shitty SUV
That's
mashed
the
up together.
worst of both. And it didn't even look like the parts fit together. Like there was a seam in between the SUV part and the bed
It
part. and I
looked
was
like some
what an
homemade bullshit.
Ugly vehicle.
Okay, look.
It looked like somebody like me that got an idea to make a pinball machine, and that's what they come out with whenever.
I saw a couple that I guess somebody had done some kind of custom hard top enclosure to, and that looked good.
I mean, so it looked like an Explorer, like it should look.
Yeah, except smaller. Yeah.
What happened was the SUV got rear-ended, so they cut the front part off, and the truck was the one that rear-ended him, so they cut the back off and mushed the pieces that weren't broken.
I mean, that's
together.
kind of what it looked like. At
that's how you
At
roll
least
with
it
that.
wasn't a Pontiac Aztec. That came out about the same time.
Those hurt. Yeah, they were. Those were bad.
They were a worse version of the same car we're talking about.
Those are bad. But it came with a tent. If
It
you
was
remember,
like that car,
It
except
came
it
with
was
a
a
tent?
triangle shape instead of a car shape.
Yeah, if you remember those cars, like one of their selling points was it came with a tent to where you could tent the back of it for camping. Like if somebody
So
bought
you
a
can't put the
Pontiac,
tent over the whole car. Just
no,
the
no, no.
back,
It like you open up the back a certain way, and
like a
the
rollout
tent,
tent.
and the tent like snapped in, and it had like the zipper and everything, so you went out like the back, like it was a tent, but you slept in your car. So like it was a perfect.
Kinda cool if you were buying that car specifically to like go
Live
camping
in?
in and shit,
Or live in.
or live in.
Because the tent's
I wanna see that.
$45. You could just buy a fucking tent, guys.
Yeah, but I can't snap it to my car, Jay.
Or here's the other thing: lay the seats down, just close the tailgate, sleep in your fucking car like you're doing anyway. You don't need the fucking tent.
Then why did I buy an Aztec?
I don't
but
know.
this is fucking weird.
It was a
Look at
bad
this.
plan to buy an Aztec. It's a
I concur.
Nobody should buy an Aztec unless you're dealing meth in New Mexico.
There
That's
you
the
go.
only person that needs an Aztec. Throwing pizzas on roofs.
That's a weird.
Yeah, that's what it
thing.
looked like. Yeah.
I don't know. That's really really weird.
Nick would be into that.
Like no, Nick built his own
Nick
van.
would be like, no, I would just build a better version of that.
He did.
And he did.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Oh, speaking of which, when's Mom's birthday present coming for her party that was last
Says
night?
it's out for delivery today.
I don't believe him.
It'll be on your car when we get done.
Probably. Well, my car's in
Well,
the
not
garage
your
now.
car, but
Yeah.
it'll be on my car.
Maybe.
Oh,
yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, so my garage door works halfway. So with my Democrat money, I'm gonna buy a new garage door opener.
I thought you were going to buy more pinball machine parts.
Oh, with that too. We're getting $4,200.
One. No.
Hey, don't be telling people all of our money.
How much
situation.
we're getting from the government that's like
Well,
widely
I
publicized?
was going to say, people know how many people live here, and then also how much each person gets. Like, that's not a amount that changes.
There's you. There's me.
I
there's
don't
Cal.
think. Is there?
And we're gonna see if Jazz wants to pull her money in this.
Did you see that the that
She
bill
wants to get more tattoos.
included an extra $1,000 tax credit for kids?
Yeah.
No, that's nice though.
I saw that.
It won't be for the taxes
Yeah.
for right now.
So like
obviously,
900, it's going where somebody fucked up their unemployment, didn't have the proper amount of taxes taken out of it.
but-
Sorry.
So that goes
Well,
there.
It's, is what it is.
Yeah.
It's not like you're paying penalty on that money. You just
It
was
supposed
their
be
money to
two-
begin
it
with.
was
They're just
supposed to
getting it
be
back.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
You told me
It was
2
supposed
weeks.
to be 2 weeks.
Yeah, I did say that. I don't know why you listen to me on shit like that. Like, do I look like Dr. Fauci? Like,
Well, I was.
Dr. Fauci never said this is going to be 2 weeks. Trump said this is going to be 2 weeks.
Did you listen to Trump?
Dr. Fauci was
God.
like, this is a
No.
problem. We need
No.
to start fixing this problem now.
no, it's just I said 2 weeks because a lot of people were saying 2 weeks, and I just couldn't see the world being shut down for. He was
My
one
boss
of them.
said 2 weeks.
Your boss said 2 weeks. Your boss is a smart man.
He
What?
was not.
You should be going after him for the unemployment. It's his
2
fault.
weeks, 2
Sue him.
months. I mean,
4 months.
what's the difference?
Sounds like he owes you $900. less whatever 2 weeks worth of those taxes would be.
File a suit. Yeah. Anyway, so that's where part of it's going, and then garage door opener. That
I'll still have
works
enough
100% of the time.
towels.
Right now, my opener works if I almost touch the nose to the door. Then it gets enough range to open it, and I've put a new battery in it, so that's not the issue.
That was going to be the first question.
Did you unplug the garage door opener and plug
Yes.
it back in?
We have also actually switched the garage door open clicker to a different one
Yeah.
to see if it would
Did
work
you
better.
clean the little glass?
Yes, it's an antenna, and I cleaned it off.
All right. Because that fucks stuff up more than people realize.
The door won't go down unless you hold down the manual button. Because the lasers
that means
are
it
off.
thinks something's in the way then. Well, that's
But
why it's fucking
we
up.
have checked that and checked that and checked that. There's nothing.
I think the sensors have just went bad.
Yeah.
Because there's like I've lined them up with a laser. Like I took a
I
laser.
mean, you can get new sensors for $20.
Yeah, but
if
these are
that.
wired sensors.
Yeah.
And so
But
I'm
you
worried.
can unplug the wire from the back of the ones that are there and just plug it in the.
Yeah,
new
but
thing.
I'm
maybe it's
worried
the
that it's
wire.
not the sensor, that it's the wire that's in the wall that's fucked.
Because also the thing
Because-
that's on the door as you go into the garage for the manual one, half the time just doesn't
Okay,
work.
so a couple
or
of
turn
things.
on or off.
If you buy a new one, you're gonna have to redo all that anyway.
No.
If the
Wireless.
problem,
They're all wireless now.
well then buy wireless sensors.
You can't hook wireless sensors into my old lifter.
Why not?
It just doesn't work that way. Because it doesn't have the the receptor for the wireless sensors on it.
That's not a thing that plugs in?
No.
I bet there's a thing that plugs in.
I mean,
It's
maybe.
just a wire that goes in the back.
Maybe, but I'm working on pinball machines, dude. I ain't got time to be figuring out all the inner workings of garage door openers.
I just got $4,200 from Joe Biden. I ain't got time for that shit.
He can only work on the electronical inner workings of one item.
I'm spending it all on
arcades
Dr.
right
Seuss
now.
books and Mr. Potato Hits. Anyway,
You may as well have bought an Aztec.
They're like $150 and $130 to have it installed. And like this garage door opener is over 20 years old. It's like 28 years old. So like it's time for a new one anyway. You know what I mean?
That's just going to be the opener. You may want to have new springs for your garage. Put in
Springs
as
that were
well.
replaced like 20 years ago. Springs supposed to have a 50-year lifespan.
You know way too much about
I've never seen garage door last 50 years.
Garage door springs are supposed to last 50. The springs are supposed to last 50 years, not the door. The springs are supposed to last 50.
That's until they fail and kill somebody. Like, you need to replace them well before then. If that spring breaks
What's the odds of me standing out there whenever it breaks?
I mean, low.
Yeah, that's my point.
But that's what everybody who dies by some random happenstance thinks.
Agreed.
Okay.
I'm also going to buy a carbon monoxide detector because we don't have
If
one
you
of
die
those.
because of it, I'm going to publicly make fun of you at your funeral.
That's fine. That's fair. It's
also,
a chance.
if any of your family dies because of it at their funeral, I'm going to make fun of you to you at their funeral.
Maybe not
Nope.
that one. That's too much.
You had a chance to prevent this.
Springs are like $800.
Thank you, Jazz.
Springs are like $800, dude. Like to have them installed. Like it is not cheap for springs. Springs are very expensive. Those springs are only 20 years
Yeah,
old.
that's why.
Springs are only 20 years old.
He's not getting new
They're 50-year
springs,
springs.
is what
Okay.
50-year springs, man. Come on. Not even half lifespan on springs yet.
I don't think that 50 year. Like, where did you get that number from? Because I sold garage door openers for 5 years.
Openers, but not springs.
No, I sold the doors and the openers. Now, I never installed any.
No, I looked up the springs. Most of them are supposed to be 50-year lifespan.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, if it works, it works. It doesn't work though.
The
But
springs
maybe
work
this will
just
make it work.
fine. Well, no, because like
You don't know if it doesn't go more than halfway.
I worked on it. No, I worked on it to get it working some with the remote, but for like a month, I had it unhooked from the door opener. It was hand opening it.
Yeah.
Springs work fine. They don't even creak or nothing. The springs are fine. Like there's no issues with the springs. The issue is only with the opener.
Okay.
With the driver. The thing that turns the screw thing that makes the screw thing turn that raises and lowers the thing.
All right. Well, we will revisit this conversation after you have the opener installed.
Okay.
He doesn't think that's going to fix your problem.
I guarantee you it will.
Oh, okay.
If it wasn't going to fix the
I think it'll
problem,
create a different problem because you have to when you replace the opener, you have to attach it to what's there.
yeah, but nothing attaches to the spring other than the door.
Well, that chain.
No.
What do you mean no? The chain is what attaches the garage door to the opener.
No.
Yes.
That chain does not touch the spring. The door.
I
is
know it
connected to
touches the
spring.
door.
And then you hook the opener to the door.
And
the
you're gonna-
opener is just a fancy way.
And you're
of,
going to have a different chain.
a different drive.
Yeah.
Which I'm not gonna do a chain. I want to do a screw drive.
Well, yeah.
But yeah.
That's
but
all
none of that touches the spring.
self-enclosed.
But the opener comes with a new drive. The new either belt, chain, or screw drive.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's a new one, so it's not going to work the same as the old one.
Why wouldn't it?
Because the old one's been meshing with what's there for 20 years. And
Yeah,
a
but
new
you're
one
re-
is it's like putting a new transmission in your car.
But
Like
you're
even if it's the
replacing all of
transmission
that.
that's supposed to be in there, it's going to shift very different.
Oh, I think the door's gonna go up either faster or slower. Probably faster because that motherfucker's ancient. But it shouldn't be any different than doing it with your hand. Like that's all the opener is. It's like a connection to the door that's like you're grabbing the handle on the door and raising it with your hand.
Okay.
Like I think. I mean, I'm not a garage door expert. I've just done some research because I need one.
Did you talk to somebody about? You said it was $150 to have it installed. Did you talk to somebody about it?
Well, $130. Talking to somebody at Lowe's is kind of like talking to somebody at Radio Shack.
Yeah.
They're there to sell you a credit card so you can buy a new washer and dryer, not to
Well,
tell
they're-
you the information you really need.
They're there to sell you the install for the garage door opener, even though they don't do the install for the garage door opener.
Yeah, no. The dude's like, any one of these will work. This is what we charge to install it. You gotta take the opener with you. They come do it in a couple weeks. So that's my plan.
I think you can pay an extra $30 and they'll swing by the store and pick it up on the way.
Yeah, I'll just bring it home and fit in the car.
Yeah, well, it's not a very big box.
I mean, it'll fit in Jazz's car, not my car.
It'll fit your trunk.
No, it won't fit in my trunk.
Lay a seat down.
His trunk
Can I
is
lay my
huge.
seats down? I don't know if I
You
can lay my
can't fit
seats down.
anything through the hole to get into the huge trunk.
No,
You can't lay your
it's-
seats down?
I don't know. Never tried. I might be able to. It's possible, I guess.
I thought every car did that now.
Maybe. I've never tried. My car's for show, not for hauling. It's
I
not
mean,
a
you say
hauling
that
car.
until you're somewhere where you need to haul something with your car.
It doesn't matter
and then
because
you're
it's
like,
not.
oh, my seats fold down. I can fit a door in this car if I have to.
You can't put anything. I can't put a storage tote in the trunk. I could put 15 storage totes in the trunk. Like you could put a bunch of dead mobsters in the trunk of my car, but you just couldn't get them through the opening into the trunk.
See, we bought a thing of water bottles
There's a
that usually
bottleneck.
fits in every single car.
Yeah, wouldn't go in that car.
Like his trunk opening is like this, even though the inside of the trunk's like this.
Yeah.
But you got to get through this hole to get to the
Put
giant
lots of
one.
little things in there.
I'm talking about putting it in long ways though. Like the sides of the box are only that big. They would fit in the hole. I'm talking about putting it straight in.
The issue is like where the trunk stops here and where the bottom of the trunk is.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be real awkward trying to feed it in there long ways.
Okay, but that's because it hits a seat, isn't it?
No, because the opening, it's you're gonna have to like hold it way up in the air and then slowly work it down and in. If it'll fit this way, because if you're trying to feed something in there, like you've got this much room to feed it in.
Okay.
So if the box
I mean,
is bigger
the box
than
isn't
this,
much bigger than that.
if it's any bigger than that, it ain't going like that.
Okay, but if the seats are folded down, shouldn't it just go straight in?
If it'll fit through the opening, which is this.
Anyway, take a different fucking car.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. Yeah. Probably take hers or hers. Yeah,
Why don't you
part
take that
won't
sweet Mercedes you got in the garage?
It won't run. Four flats.
What? Why aren't you working on
Oh,
that?
Beth and Nick just abandoned it to rot.
They got their own garage now.
Yeah. And Dad's real upset about it while standing next to his rotting vehicle.
Well, those rot by right. He can do what he wills.
But that's her car. I mean,
Which I don't understand why your dad's complaining to you about her car.
have you not met my dad? He's either not talking or he's bitching at you.
Jason, has
over
anybody ever
something.
really met your dad?
No. No, to be fair, no. But he's either not talking or he's bitching at you over something that's either not your problem, not your fault, or not in your control. Or something you did 25 years ago that he's still mad about.
Should make you go pick up sticks.
Like he was yelling at me. I think it was Thanksgiving about a car I
That
wrecked
does
when I
sound
was.
a little bit like you, to be fair.
He was yelling at me about a car I wrecked when I was 16 years old, and I'm like, dude.
Well, why'd you wreck that car?
I'm like 43 years old now.
Why couldn't you have been more responsible?
Like,
Because he was 16.
you've wrecked many more cars than I've ever thought about wrecking. I was 16 and I wrecked a car because I was 16.
That sounds like what you should say to him. What
Did
do
a
you
lot of
say
other
when he
stupid
asks you
shit.
about it?
That's what I
You should
did.
Just say what you just said.
No, that's what I
usually what he
did.
does.
That's what I
And?
did. It's like he doesn't hear you. It's like a tape player you've hit play on. There's no conversing. It's just we are now on this, and this is what we're gonna say for the next 20 minutes. And I got him left the room. He's still talking about it.
That literally is Jason's dad anytime you see him.
Yeah.
He picks one topic, stays on it, and that's it.
Yeah. There's no conversation.
Sounds like a happy fellow.
Or there's just no
No.
talking at all.
What does he do, like, when he's by himself? Who does he bitch to?
He reimagines all of the reasons he's mad at everyone he knows.
Next time I see that kid, I'm going to complain about the fucking car. I can't
Yeah.
believe he crashed that
Literally,
fucking car.
yes.
Does he have any idea how much work I put into
He's mad at
getting
me
that
because
fucking
I
car?
didn't. He's mad at me because I didn't bush hog a field over here.
We don't have a
Like
tractor.
3 weeks ago, he's mad at me because I haven't bush hogged this field over here recently. And I'm like, dude, I ain't got a tractor. And he's like, yeah, you do. And I'm like, where is it? I gave Jim Lane a tractor 20 years ago to do something on, and he ain't never brought it back. He's storing it at his house. Go get it. I was like, Dad, that's a 1947 Ford tractor. First of all, you gave it to Jim Lane. If you want it back from Jim Lane, you go get it back from Jim Lane. 2, those things kill farmers in the 40s like crazy It's 2 big wheels, 2 little wheels. They turn over if the wind blows 5 miles an hour. I don't know how to drive a tractor, and I ain't learning on a fucking death machine. Well, you ought to go get the motherfucker bush hog that motherfucking field, and I can't believe you just let it go to fucking rot. I was like, dude, it's a fucking field. It went to a field.
We're not using it for anything.
It's doing what a field's supposed to do. It's fielding.
What do you want me?
We're preserving nature.
What do you want me to do, man?
Make it an official nature preserve.
We should.
And then,
There is
and then,
one
and then
in
he
the
can't
other side of our neighborhood.
be like, it's
so.
illegal for me to do
That's-
anything
that's
with
where
that
the
now.
deer eat.
Well, like if I had a tractor and and it wasn't a farmer killer from 1947 and a bush hog, I'd probably do it once a year.
Is there water in there?
But I don't have that, and I'm not going to some dude. He let borrow a tractor 20-some years ago and saying, you know that tractor my dad? I'm taking it back.
Which, I mean, what are the odds of that tractor being, like, A, there, and B, running?
B, it's definitely there. C, this dude's had it for 20 years because my dad abandoned it with the guy, basically.
So it's the exact same situation with the car in your garage.
Pretty much. And this dude's probably took care of the tractor and been using it every year. I'm not going to go over and take it back.
They put it on the porch.
All right, nice of them to do that.
But it may be raining, so I'm going to go check on that.
All right, have fun.
They're like, oh, it's raining. We'll put it on the porch.
But no, he's mad at me because I didn't bush hog the field. And at the same time, I'm like, dude, you know where the tractor's at. You know where the bush hog's at. You can do it.
Why is he going to bush hog your field, Jason? It's your field.
He's the one mad about
He gave it to you so that you could bush hog it.
He's the one mad about
He
it.
also gave your trailer to Jim Lane. So go get that shit.
He gave the tractor to Jim Lane and then tells me, well, you just got to go get it. What? Dude,
Okay, before
motherfucker, I
this
didn't get it
goes
to him.
on
I ain't going to
further,
get it.
should we be saying that full name?
There's probably 100,000 Jim Lanes in the world.
I didn't even know that was the person's real name. I just said it because he said it.
I was just making sure for editing purposes.
I mean,
sorry.
Jim is a very common first name. Lane is a very common last name. I'm sure there's 100,000 in America.
Like Steve Smith.
There's probably only one that has a 1947 Ford tractor. It's fully restored.
Not for nothing, but if my name were Jim Lane, I would go by James Lane.
That's good.
Sounds
That's
like
better.
a sweet porn star name or something.
Anyway, dude's really cool.
James
He's also
Lane.
like 85 at this point.
Well,
so it's kind of like I'm not going to go over there.
Tractor's going to go to his kid before it goes back to you.
I'm not going to go over there and fight with him over a tractor.
Show up at his what's it called when somebody dies and they the reading of the will or whatever.
Yeah, ain't that tractor?
That wasn't his to give away. That's mine.
That's my tractor.
My daddy said I need to get that tractor.
Yeah,
I'm here to get that tractor.
He,
My daddy.
he wouldn't come with me to help, but he says that's my tractor.
And here's the other thing:
you
is
can
like,
trust me.
Back when my dad had it, like whenever I was like a wee teenager, like I almost saw him roll it like 5 times. I saw him jump off of it one time because he thought it was gonna roll, and he knew what he was doing. I don't. Like I'm gonna learn on a tractor that's a little bit safer than this thing that is literally like a blade on 2 giant wheels. It's like the fucking bicycle from Deadwood. Like it's the fucking bone shaker, man. And I'm gonna learn how to drive a tractor on the side of a fucking mountain with this motherfucker. Fuck off. Yeah, corruption will not bring Stinky on my tractor. I'm sorry,
Buy tractor. On my buy tractor.
Yeah. Anyway, fuck all that. All right, let's wrap this shit up.
But I just got back.
Jason's got a tractor to buy.
I gotta go beat
No,
up.
I meant go buy a new one.
Go beat up an 85-year-old man and take the tractor. Russ has got one. Like I could have Russ bring his down here and do it, but it's like I don't want to bush hog it, man. Like
we could build a hell of a garden over there.
Like, why I gotta go?
mean-
Yeah, but you gotta go over there.
Don't.
Yeah, I don't want to go.
I'm not
over
gonna. I mean, to be clear, I'm not gonna. Like, I have ways. Like, I'm not gonna tell him this, but I have ways to get a tractor out here. And
If I was your dad, I'd be bitching about the 20-year-old garage springs in your garage that are gonna snap one day and kill somebody.
He probably doesn't even know about that.
What? Don't tell him.
This is a dude.
20 years old.
This is a dude I've seen working on gas leaks with fucking cigarettes hanging out of his mouth while under the car. Like, safety is not #1 priority for this man.
You know,
He broke his arm. He broke his arm on a 3-wheeler going up a grade that wasn't a grade. What do you call like a rock cliff?
A mountain face.
Like on a 3-wheeler, not a 4-wheeler. A 3-wheeler, he broke his arm.
You know that stool's out in the garage? It's all wobbly and things.
Yeah.
He used that to look at the garage door because I couldn't get it to work. And he was standing on top of that one day.
Safety's
And I'm like,
not.
what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm like standing there watching like this man's gonna get hurt bad.
It just timed out. Every time I see him, I'm like, I'm kind of shocked he's still alive because personal safety is not his strong suit.
Someone with that much anger still inside them cannot die.
You think I'm
That's
bad?
the secret to
You
living
think I'm
forever,
bad?
Jason.
I've seen this man take like fucking Red Man chewing tobacco and put the biggest fucking wad you can imagine in his cheek, and then lit up a fucking Winston cigarette. He
He's
was
still alive.
chewing a huge fucking chunk of chaw and smoking Winstons. And he ran out of Winstons that day and started smoking Camel non-filters because it was all available to him.
You don't understand this man's anger towards the world. He hates himself as much as he hates everyone else. He has to
guess.
destroy himself as much as he shits on everything else.
70 years old, smoking and chewing tobacco at the same time. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing?
But he's still here.
How are you alive?
He's held together by nicotine strands.
Every time I get worried about me living like to a
You look at
decently
him
old
and
age,
go,
I'm like,
"No, he's still fucking.
I've taken care of myself 5 times better than him, and he's still kicking.
I've seen pictures of your dad where he's like twice the size that you are now.
Oh yeah,
No
my
shit.
dad also
Yeah.
fucking yo-yoed weight like a motherfucker. Like he would go from 350 pounds to like 120.
He's been slim every time I've seen him.
Me too.
He has been since like he hit his late 40s, but he would, dude, he would like get so fat he looked like a chipmunk.
I mean, literally, I've seen pictures of him. He's just round, like from the
Like
head
way fatter than
down
I've ever
to
been. Like I stay
his legs.
about the same fat weight. Like it's fat.
Those were the weed days. See, he rotates his drugs.
Yeah, dude, I think you're not wrong. I think it's the times where he got
And
off.
he rotated to one that makes you much
Got off
slimmer.
the meth and got on
he,
weed.
he got off speed and was on fucking like weed for 6 months, and then he'd switch back to some kind of speed, coke, meth, whatever you got, some kind of
He
speed.
was getting too fat. Had to slim down.
I figured out what's going to happen
Getting
to
tired
his
of all
dad.
these fucking teeth in my mouth.
What?
No, he's still
Gonna
got
be
most
those
of his teeth.
springs.
Most.
All this stuff ain't going to kill him. It's going to be those springs that kills him because he's working on the garage door, bitching about the car that's right there, rotten. He's going to turn around and be like, that car's still there, rotten, Jace.
Why setting
Still
on,
rotten
standing
there.
on top of a stool?
Try and open the door and the
3
spring will
legs.
snap.
Garage door springs only kill like 8 people a year, but it kills those 8 people really fucking good.
Those people are dead as fuck.
Yeah. Like if you're anywhere around that spring when it comes off and it comes your way, you're fucking
Just
dead.
puts a hole in you. Yeah, there's nobody survives
Like
those.
it doesn't kill a lot of people, but the ones it does, it's very fucking good at it.
It's like a Final Destination type thing.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm picturing this, but I'm picturing the motorcycle scene in The Only Good Indians, and I don't know. It was in a garage and things, and that's
Alright.
I can.
Amy's talking about a book that 5 people fucking read.
It was a really good book. I liked
wasn't
it.
that good.
I liked it.
All right. So anyway, we'll see you next week. Hopefully, Calvin hasn't gotten another pet that tries to fucking kill me. Which
He's got to go back to school this week.
Thank God for small miracles.
Not crazy about it. 2 kindergartners just got it the other day at his school.
Good thing he ain't a kindergartner, I guess.
I got the
Have a
first
good
shot
day to
of the
you too,
vaccine a couple
Calandros.
days ago. There's not really any news about that.
Oh, you
Just
got the vaccine? Wait,
the
run
first
it by
shot.
me. I haven't got the first one yet. How'd you get it? Amy says I can't have it.
I just go to Walgreens every day and click on check for appointments.
I mean,
That's all you got to do. Like nobody will send you availability because it's not available.
She said she
anywhere.
couldn't
They
do
just
it at
sell out.
Walgreens because they wouldn't schedule my second one. You
Yeah,
couldn't
it
schedule
wouldn't let
your
me
first
schedule
one.
Have you checked Walmart? 'Cause they do it too.
I got mine at Walgreens.
I mean, he's already got his.
And CVS.
Yeah, I got it 2 days ago.
Stop.
If he gets COVID and I get COVID, I'm dying. He's still alive. He's got the vaccine.
I mean, I still need to get the second shot.
Still.
But
Have you got your appointment for the second shot?
yeah, they set it up so it's 4 weeks exactly after the first one.
All right, Amy, you now have a job. And that's it. So until next week, make sure you do the thing you're supposed to do, which is
Hit it.
Later.